And welcome to Metricon Stadium, Carrara on the beautiful Gold Coast for NEFL TV. It is round 17 and the Gold Coast Suns are at home to the Brisbane Lions. The Suns sit at 6th, the Lions at 7th on the NEFL ladder. The Suns with 7 wins and 7 losses, and the Brisbane Lions 6 wins, 7 losses and a draw. Michael Price and Jess Webster calling all of your action today for NEFL TV. And Jess, it's going to be a very close game, methinks, even though the Gold Coast might have some very, very good players in for their side today. Perhaps Brisbane's is a little bit deeper.
Yeah, it will be, I think, a fascinating battle between these two sides, and particularly, like you mentioned, Brisbane have, I guess, the depth of AFL listed players, but Gold Coast, don't forget, they upset ladder leaders Sydney last week by 2 points at the SCG, and talk about a lot riding on this game. So the Giants have just beaten Sydney University by 55 points. They now sit in 6th position on the ladder with 30 points. Gold Coast are 2 points behind in 7th, and then Brisbane are now 4 points outside the 8th. In 8th place, or outside the 6th, sorry, in 8th place. So the winner between this battle will leapfrog the Giants into the top 6. It's so much riding on it. We're only 4 weeks out from finals, Pricey. So I'm looking forward to seeing both of these teams give their all today.
Okay, so we've got a few important ins for the Gold Coast with Matt Rosa coming back in. Piers Hanley will be one to have a look out for as well. They've got the explosive Emmanuel Baru, who kicked 3 goals last week up forward in the number 50 for the Gold Coast Suns. And it's all the Bs for Brisbane, Bastanak, Bell, Buick and Beams. That will be the spine of their midfield attack here. And we can also see Clay Beams getting into it in the middle as we speak. We're just about to get underway for round 17 here at Metricon. This is the voice of Jess Webster.
So we're underway in this round 17 clash. As Clay Beams gets a hand to it, and then Archie Smith a little dribbler kick along the ground. Starcevic will run onto this for the Lions. Long kick to the hot spot. It's a vacant square. Does it have the bounce? Ballenden will run on. Does he get boot to ball? No, he can't. Lightning quick from the Lions outside the centre, but only the minors score. One behind plays the Suns, yet to score after the first 10 seconds of the game.
Oh, it was a quick shot, and it was a poor turnover to start with from the Gold Coast Suns. It's been picked off there by Cody Stackelberg. He's got his right leg pinned against the boundary line, as you can see here on NEFL TV. We'll follow this one home if he decides to have a crack at it. It's early doors, so you might as well. So Cody Stackelberg. We'll have to let go from about 35. Uses the left foot, hooks it a little. It straightens up at the end. Just a little bit of left fade. And Cody Stackelberg gets the opening goal of the game here on NEFL TV. The Lions 1-1-7. The Suns yet to score.
Yeah, it was just a bad error, wasn't it, from the Suns? I mean, from the kick out directly into the path of Stackelberg. But that was a brilliant finish, right deep into the pocket. And he's such a young talent, the kid from Sandgate, who's played a bit of NEFL footy with both Aspley and the Lions through their academy program, and really starting to cement his place, actually, in this Brisbane NEFL team.
So the Brisbane Lions take an early lead here at Metricon. Just see the shadows going across the ground. It's a beautiful day. The sun's out. Just a little bit of light breeze.
So Smith against McDonald in the ruck. McDonald had a second crack at it. And Keys roves it for the Lions. Handball's out to Hinge, who is the inclusion today. His left foot kick towards Dawson. He goes up the line and finds Wooler, who just turns his opponent inside out, has a bounce, and then drives it inside 50 into 2-on-2, and taking the defensive mark is Leslie for the Suns.
So Leslie plays on. Or dangerous handball coming out to Boakey. He got a high shot, though. Umpire was right there and called it, so Kwabi Boakey. Parents born in Ghana, they moved to Melbourne, and then he ended up starting playing football at boarding school in Rockhampton. It's a long kick, but it's picked off there by Clay Beams. Beams now measures a lovely pass to Bastanak. 60 metres from goal. Right against the boundary line, though. Suns with plenty of numbers back inside defensive 50. Bastanak puts it into the pocket. Favours. Archie Smith did a beautiful job there for Ballenden to run in and take that ball. Bastanak popped it into a good spot. But great body work by Archie Smith in the background there, Jess. Yeah,
it was really smart, wasn't it? And he'll be a key player for them today in the ruck against the undersized McDonald. It's got a big role to play, Archie Smith, but this Ballenden, a shot not too dissimilar from Cody Stackelberg a few moments ago.
He was very good last week, Connor Ballenden, got the 1 goal, starts it right, it stays that way though, doesn't fade back like Stackelberg's shot, and another behind result, so 1-2-8 to the Lions. The Suns yet to score, and we've played a couple of minutes of the first term on Neefle TV.
So Hanley with the kick-in duties for the Suns. A spearing kick towards Barlow, but it's intercepted by Buick. The second time that the Suns have turned it over from a kick-out already in the opening 3 minutes, and now Buick will have a shot on goal from about 45 metres out, 45-degree angle.
Yeah, you'd have to back him in. He's got a raking long left foot, Rowan Buick. Distance not an option, but again, another poor exit from the Gold Coast.
So Buick, for 2 in a row for the Brisbane Lions, he lets go, but it fades to the right-hand side for a minor score. The Lions doing all the attacking. 1 goal, 3, 9 points. Plays the Suns yet to score as Hanley brings it in, and this time he finds Foster.
There you go. So they've found a target, and let's see if Brodie Foster can get out. Finds Rosa. Goes by hand now to Bailey Scott. Oh, beautiful tackle by Buick. Oh, no, it's just a little bit high. Just went a little bit too high, says the umpire. He's closer than I, and Bailey Scott will be made to come back over his mark and kick over the head of Rowan Buick. The intent that was there from Buick, but just that arm slid up. So Scott now is going to chip it forward. Finds Ainsworth. Ainsworth now. The Lions have set up beautifully, so they're going to have to go laterally. Scrimshaw now goes for the long kick across the face of goal, more or less, and finds Max Spencer. Spencer wants to take off. He's corralled on the mark and ends up having to go to right half back. And he finds his blood nut mate in Schoenfeld.
So Schoenfeld from right half back just chips it down the line. Bokey marks in space right up against the boundary line.
It's a really slow forward moving process for the Gold Coast, Jess.
Yeah, the Lions have just done well to clog up the space, so Bokey just has to bomb it long. McDonald can't bring down the mark, and then Archie Smith wraps up. Suns player on the bottom of the pack can't quite pick it up. It's Schoenfeld, and we will have a ball up, centre wing position out of side.
Just out where the sun is peeping out from the shadows on the logo on the outer side of Metricon. Gold Coast with the clearance, but it's cut off by Brisbane. Buick in the middle of the ground, corralled by Rosa, gets the handball away. Good running there from Keys, the left foot inside 50. Front position there, nicely flown. There was Quint, it went to ground. Gold Coast with the numbers, no, they muck it up. Ballenden, Bell, he gets his right shoe to it, and it goes through for one behind. So they're peppering, but not quite showing it with goals on the board. 1-4-10 to the Lions. The Gold Coast yet to basically go inside 50.
Under pressure early are the Suns as Hanley goes to Scrimshaw in the pocket. His little chip kick, good enough to find Rosa in between two Lions players. Rosa inboard to Hanley, and he wants to get moving. Handball over the top. Ainsworth should run onto it, and he does. Tries to fend off one, but he's turned it over. Mays to Bastanak, backwards to Dawson. Kick inside 50 is intercepted by Spencer, taking the diving mark in front of Belt. Handballs to Scrimshaw. He's got a bit of space in the left back pocket. Goes up the corridor, and it's a great kick. And finds a way up, who switches it to the outer side to McDonald at right half back. But again, just slow movement from the Suns. He's got to hit a target. Goes in the Baru direction, but Coleman applying the pressure. Little good one-on-one battle between the two academy players. The ball spills over the boundary line, and that's probably as far as the Suns, I think, have gotten so far in the first 5 minutes, is the halfway mark, and the umpire will toss it back in. Yeah,
they've been really slow and held up in their delivery forward out of their fullback area. Struggling at the moment to get it clear, the Suns, as Archie Smith gets a slap down. It's slapped by Schoenfeld. It ends up going to Coleman. Coleman gets it back in board. Player coming in to get that was Starcevic and got tackled into the logo again. So we're still right on the outer wing, but just right against the centre square edge, as you can see. Archie Smith dominates that hit out. It's towed out of mid-air by Bastanak. Beats Beams and Pierce Hanley, but the Irishman will get the free kick for the Gold Coast. So the Suns fans will be very happy to see the bloke from County Mayo back as Dawson goes through the middle of the ground, kicks it to left half forward. That's got some space for the Suns. Collecting it and wheeling back in was McDonald, but it's intercepted now by Buick. Can he get out of traffic? He does. Goes one way, the other. Coleman under pressure, and did he get his foot to the ball? No, the umpire says it was an illegal disposal, so it must have been a drop kick. So it comes through now to Rosa by hand away from Bowie. Rosa now hooks it back in board. Good contest there. Barlow gets the handball away to Baru. Left foot from Baru, just laconically. Just slots it through for the Suns' first score. At the 7-minute mark, the Suns one straight goal. The Lions 1-4-10. I reckon that's their first inside 50, so they're running at 100%, and the Lions have been peppering for the first 7 minutes.
Yeah, had to work hard for that one, didn't it? But look, it just keeps them in touch. Obviously, only 4 points of difference when the Lions should be further in front. Of course, wasted 4 behinds already. But yeah, another great finish by Baru. He's such a great talent in terms of, you're right, he looks like he's just a natural footballer. He kicked 3 goals last week against the Swans, and I think off memory he's kicked 7 in the last 2 weeks for the Suns. So he's definitely getting the goals on the board, is Emmanuel Baru, and that will give the Suns a little bit of confidence to keep in touch in the early stages as we're back in the middle. 4 points of difference. Bastanak fires out a handball to Keys. Little 1-2 with Starcevic, and Keys kicks inside 50, but no one really there for the Lions, and Foster takes a uncontested mark right in the goal mouth. He's got Rosa out wide, but coming across and affecting the contest was Buick. And the ball spills over the boundary line off hands, and we will have a throw-in 40 metres around from the Lions' goal.
Showing a bit of intent is the veteran, Rowan Buick, at the minute. Of course, a lot of pressure for spots in both AFL and NEFL sides for the Brisbane Lions. Slap forward, Keys. He just gets out of traffic and slams it onto the left foot, top of the goal square, fisted through by the defence. Well done by the Gold Coast. Leslie was the player there, and another behind of the Lions. 1-5-11 plays one straight 6 with 9 gone. First term, NEFL TV. This is Michael Price and Jess Webster calling all of your action.
Hanley kicks to himself and then bombs it outside of defensive 50. And doing well in the contest is Butterick. He ends up winning the footy in a one-on-one. Handballs backwards to Barlow and chips it to Symington, the under-19 academy player. Kick down the line, though, and it's a turnover. Frost handballs to Bastanak, but a hurried kick, again, is intercepted by Butterick. And then handballs out to Gilmore, but he's under pressure, and the umpire is called holding the ball, and that's a free kick to the Lions going Bastanak's way.
And then gives it to Wooler. Wooler now kicks it long in the Ballenden direction. Again, the fist comes in from Jack Leslie. That's going to be a good contest all day. Is Jack Leslie against Connor Ballenden, 2 fierce competitors. Ballenden, a very, very good prospect for the Brisbane Lions. Another tall forward. Too many. There's never too much as Archie Smith slaps it down. Jacob Dawson comes in for the Suns, hooks it around the body. It's going to beat Jacob Allison over the boundary line. We'll get another throw in on the outer side. Bathed in sunshine here at Metricon Stadium for NEFL TV, round 17. The 6th place Suns up against the 7th place Lions, and after earlier on today, GWS beat Sydney Uni. That's a big, big result in the scheme of NEFL season 2018.
So Smith wins the tap, but it's straight down to Schoenfeld for the Suns. Handballs to Butterick, just weaves out of traffic to Barlow, and then over the top to McDonald. He's got a bit of space. Handballs to Dawson, and now to Schoenfeld. The Suns can go inside 50. Schoenfeld's kick to no one in particular, and coming through was Skinner for the Lions. Gives it to Allison, who just hacks it out of there from defensive 50. Now inside the centre square, just outside the centre square, and Beams can have a bounce and go for a run. He takes 2 bounces, has a third. He's approaching 50. What does he do? He centres the kick to the Beams direction. He can't mark, but roving it was Preval in his club debut, and he's given away a free kick for holding the ball.
Does play his footy at Aspley as well, Josh Preval. He's got some very good signs about him. He's a big unit. It sort of looks about the Oscar McInerney kind of size as well.
He's actually got really great hands, and he's good on the lead. I've seen him play for Aspley in a couple of matches, and he's starting to get a few goals on the scoreboard as well.
Starcevic kicks it long to the pack. 3 Suns players actually went over the head of Preval, but it was a big fist from Ryan Gilmore, the late inclusion. Had a couple of late outs. One was Brad Shear for the Gold Coast Suns, and Zach Bailey was the other late out for Brisbane Lions. He was utilised as a travelling emergency for their game in Geelong. Throw in. Forward pocket for Brisbane. Preval in front. Got the tap down. Picked up by Beams. Oh, Clay Beams. Out of nowhere. Curled it around with the right foot from 45 and gets the Lions' second goal. 2-5-17. plays one straight 6, and we played nearly 13 minutes. The first term on NEFL TV.
Geez, we had such a great look at that, didn't we, Pricey, from our position in the commentary box. That was just a brilliant execution by Clay Beams for the Lions' second goal, and they're really controlling this contest at the moment. The Suns are just under pressure every time they go near the footy, and Brisbane are coming up with the goals in attack. So plenty of work to do for Gold Coast early.
I think it's that, as I say, we looked at the Bs, the Bastanak, Bell, Buick, Beams combination, and they're working very well at the moment. We see Buick on the wing here, Bastanak floating around in the forward line for Brisbane, and Beams in the middle. Very good finish from Clay Beams, who was the skipper in last year's NEFL Grand Final win.
So the Lions are looking good early as Ballender moves into the ruck for the Lions. Schoenfeld underneath it, and he's wrapped up by Bell. He isn't going anywhere, and we'll do it all again.
Very congested.
So 12.5 minutes played in the first term. Margin 11 points going Brisbane's way. As McDonald flies high. Just trying to hack it out of there was Buick. Eventually spills out the back. Coming through was Bell for the Lions. Little chip kick inside 50 was, I think, intercepted by Wooler, and he just banged it through for goal. I'm just still trying to get over that little, he kind of kicked it and it went 2 metres, and Wooler was just there and he just captured it and then nailed the goal on the run.
Well, that's the debatable.
Fantastic.
Was it fair income? Did he try to do that, Tom Bell? Did he think, okay, I'm just going to chip it forward, Irish Gaelic football style with the right shoe? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It landed in the hands of Wooler, but what a great finish from Toby Wooler as well.
And you can just see their run out of the centre. They just have so much space in there. They can, they in their prime movers, and like you said, Bell just did really well to burst out of congestion and set up that goal scoring opportunity. They're moving it so quickly out of the centre that the Suns are playing catch up.
Well, Archie Smith's giving them good service in the middle. He's been replaced at the moment by Ballenden. So Gold Coast look like they're going to be stretched in this ruck department as well. They've got Caleb Graham going up in the ruck, who's a much shorter conveyance. The ball dropped there. The umpire says play on. Ben Ainsworth enters the fray for the Gold Coast. Tries to drill a pass. It came off the foot of Liam Dawson, in fact, and will go over the boundary line in the right forward pocket for the Gold Coast Suns. They're inside 50. Something could happen here, Jess. 17 points the margin. The Lions lead it.
Yeah, well, they need to keep up on the scoreboard at least, because they've been dominated around the ground by Brisbane so far. So here's a chance for the Suns to respond. Ballenden gets front spot, but only down to Barlow. Handballs backwards to Conan, but it spills over the boundary line for a throw-in. About 45 metres around from the Suns' goal. Full
of admiration for the haircut of Dirk Conan. What number is he now? He's 55 for the Gold Coast Suns. It's a good buzz cut.
In the ruck against Ballenden. Barlow trying to bust his way through, but he's tackled by Stackelberg and will have a ball up 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
When I say full of admiration, it's for the courage shown in actually getting that haircut. Well played. Ballenden slapped it down. Once again, very difficult to get out. Buick's tackled into the ground, and we'll do it all again. Connor Butterick just getting up. And the last one coming up. There he is. It's Dirk Conan. Ballenden just slaps it down around his feet, and once again, can't clear that 1 metre zone. You're not getting out of the congestion. So 3 ball ups in the space of a few seconds in the forward 50 for the Gold Coast Suns. At least they're holding it in there and giving themselves an opportunity at getting a score. They've only got the 1 goal on the board at the moment. Ballenden got a clear hit out. Sloan tackled. Lets loose the ball. Bastanak picks it up, toes it forward. Now Barlow. He dragged it in with the 1 mid. He was tackled there by Stackelberg. Umpire, I was thinking, was going to ping him for it. Didn't do so, and it'll be a ball up on the point of the centre square, more or less. Just forward of centre for the Gold Coast advantage on the outer side.
It's Ballenden and McDonald in the ruck. Ballenden wins that one. Bastanak will run into it, but he decides to just hack it out of the air. High up and under kick and taking the mark is Starcevic. He wheels around, just a high kick inside 50. Buick might run onto this, but he can't take the mark. Well done by Butterick, but he's given away the free kick. I thought he did really well, but it'll be Buick who comes up with the footy, and he'll have a shot on goal. He's only 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle. He should slot this, Pricey.
He should slot it. Reckon Butterick, well, look, he had his eyes on the ball. Reckon he was a little bit stiff, but there was enough in it for umpire Brett Ritchie, who's a very experienced umpire, to give it.
So Buick on the approach. Should make no mistake, and he doesn't. And that's the Lions' fourth for the opening quarter. 4-5-29 plays the Suns, 1 goal 6. And we've played nearly 17 minutes in the opening term.
Yeah, Rowan Buick, I said it earlier, he seems to have started with a lot more intent. He can look laconic in the way he goes about his football as well. And that's particularly because he's balanced. He's stylish when he lets loose with that left foot. It is a particular weapon, but it's great to see his intent on the play early on in the game.
He's only got 3 possessions. 4 possessions, and a goal. But you're right, the way he's sort of attacking the contest, you feel like he's really come to play this afternoon. So the Lions extend their lead.
And we've played about 18 and a half minutes of the first term on NEFL TV. Umpire Brett Ritchie back in the middle of Metricon Stadium at Carrara. Bangs it down. Archie Smith versus Dirk Cohn, and Smith wins it. Gets it down to Dawson. Dawson tackled into the ground. We'll do it all again just forward of the centre circles. So it's a beautiful afternoon/evening in the curtain raiser to the Gold Coast versus Carlton match later on this afternoon. Smith gets it down. Bastanak. Tackled by Rosa. Still gets a kick through. Nice little tap on by Starcevic. Now Schoenfeld. He picked it up for the Gold Coast. Tackled by Keys. Stuck underneath he. And the umpire's going to ball it up yet again. Still 23 points the margin. The Lions lead it.
So the Lions are pressing again. They're just outside their forward 50. Smith wins the ruck tap. Straight down to Ainsworth. And he can't get it out of there. And we will have a ball up inside the centre square. We mentioned it already, Pricey, that the Gold Coast started the round in 6th place. The Giants are now in 6th after they win against Sydney University. So the winner of this one will go back inside the top 6 approaching finals. As the Suns emerge with it, this is Spencer. Handballs to Gilmore. He drills a pass looking for Ainsworth. Good pick up. Handballs backwards to Schoenfeld, then to Ainsworth, and now out to Rosa, who kicks it towards right half forward, and marking out on the lead is the excitement machine. Fitzroy Greenwall, who pops it over the top in the direction of Oea. And the ball close to the boundary line. Pack of players there. And looks like we will have a ball up. The Lions did well to cut off that attacking opportunity for the Suns. We'll have a ball up right on the goal line next to the right behind post. Yeah,
it resembled more of a rugby maul there, Jess. There's plenty of players in and around the contest as Smith taps it down in the direction of Keys. He scrubs it forward, well trapped by Sloan. He's tackled by Rosa. That's a clever tackle by Rosa. Could have got him high, didn't, just picked him up and ragdolled him. Absolutely ragdolled him into the ground. Umpire had no option whatsoever but to ping him for holding the ball. That's called tackling technique. When somebody does the Selwood shrug or gets down there, alter your arm structure to ragdoll him and belt him. Simple as that.
Yes, brilliantly done by Rosa. And geez, the Suns need this one, don't they?
Oh, they certainly do.
Margin 23, and they need it just to keep in touch at quarter time.
So Matt Rosa spent 11 seasons and 168 games with the West Coast Eagles before becoming a Sun, and does it from the boundary line. That could get him up and about with a great tackle and a great finish from the boundary line from Matt Rosa. So it's the Lions 4-5-29, the Suns 2 straight 12. It's now 17 points the margin after the Lions have dominated the bulk of this first term.
Yeah, very well done by Rosa, wasn't it? The tackle and the finish from the pocket. That was a brilliant goal, and hopefully that'll get the Suns up and about because they definitely need something to inspire them at the moment. Brisbane are controlling this contest early in the first quarter as we enter time on.
They need to get somebody standing in the same location as Ryan Bastanak, who's had 9 touches already in the forward line. I can notice Jack Scrimshaw's with him at the moment. Need to keep a tight rein on Bastanak, and Ben Keys as well with 7 touches.
So we're back in the middle. Archie Smith to battle McDonald in the ruck. Coming through there was Keys, just a left foot kick along the ground. Coming out to meet it is Bastanak, but it goes over his head. Bell's there trying to gather it for the Lions, met heavily by Hanley. Ball close to the boundary line on the outer side, and it eventually spills over. And we'll have a throw in between wing and half forward for the Lions.
So the Lions kicking to your right of screen. They won the toss through Toby Wooler, who was the skipper today. The shadows just coming across the stadium. Smith got the front position, could have got a free kick anyway for holding. He won it out of the contest. Bastanak, touch number 10, gets onto the left foot, kicks it to a dangerous position. Well done in the end. Good spoiling effort came from Ryan Gilmore, and they took it over the boundary line. So we'll get a throw in the left forward pocket for the Brisbane Lions. They're pressing with 23 gone to the first term.
So a huge role for McDonald today as the Suns ruckman. He'll battle Preval in this contest. Give that one to McDonald. Just taps it out to Rosa. Handballs to Dawson, but he's dispossessed. Goes again. Handballs out to Foster, but he's coughed it up to Buick. He's just kicked it to the hot spot. No one can take the mark. Now the ball goes over the head to Keneally. Coming through his Hanley. Great bump against Ballenden. Ball still in dispute. A little soccer kick out of congestion, but it's mopped up by Keys. The left foot kick towards the goal mouth. And Preval. I think, it's
Connor McFadden.
McFadden, sorry. I was getting a bit confused there. It was a great contested mark. And McFadden, he's only 5 metres out. Should nail this one, and he does. Great work by McFadden, who has been invited to the AFL National Combine later on this year. He's a wonderful talent for the Lions. And they've added more pain to Gold Coast.
Yeah, they've extended that lead again just as the Gold Coast looked like they were pressing. But it seems to me it's breaking down for the Gold Coast around about half back at the moment. As soon as they get an opportunity to break out of their defensive area, they're just falling apart across that half back area. Lions have got it pretty well stitched up. But not apologising for you, but Jess, but Preval and McFadden look very, very similar. I was saying before, Ballenden and Wooler also. Here's one of my little bugbears. They almost look exactly the same. They've got the same parents. What's going on? As Archie Smith goes down in the middle. Well tapped down by Caleb Graham, though. They get it out through Dawson. Now comes back to Barlow. Prolific ball winner. Gets it to right half forward. Bounces over the top. Liam Dawson comes out. Tried to crash his way through Gordon Tallis style. Ends up coming back to Jack Frost. He runs out of defence. Now they're willing to just move it. Archie Smith to the run of Clay Beams. Floating helicopter from Beams. Was actually looking for Bastanak. Mark was dropped there by Brodie Foster. Bastanak on his hammer. Tom Bell comes in. He gets thrown down. Foster gets back in there. Held by Bastanak. Umpire circling and nothing doing. There will be a ball up. Tom Bell looks a little ginger as he gets up after trying to crash his way through the pack.
How good do Brisbane look when they get a bit of run and carry? Very, very dangerous.
Oh, that was a free kick shepherding out, and it'll go against Ballenden. Just a little bit of inexperience in that contest there. He had no need to be doing that to Connor Ballenden. Kicks towards the boundary line, and that's over. That should be out of bounds on the full. The free kick will end up coming to Jack Frost, methinks. Mitchell Hinge is trying to claim it. He'll take it. He's... why not? He came from 20 metres away to claim that one. Lucky it wasn't a shot on goal. Big kick to the top of the square. Back of the pack, it was McFadden again who tried to juggle a mark or claim it and then go for a shot. Was tackled and will get a ball up 30 metres out. A lot of players inside attacking 50 for Brisbane.
So the Lions are pressing. McFadden tries to rove. Bastanak gets boot to ball. Straight to Bell and now Keys. But they've he's won himself a free kick.
Now, if a bloke runs over the top of you while you're on the ground with the ball and falls over, how are you taking his legs out? Just asking. That's just a hypothetical question.
So Hanley will come up with the footy. Just measures a kick to Foster. Right where the 50-metre line intersects the boundary, right half back. Foster, the NEFL Rising Star nominee, bombs long down the line, but coming out and meeting it is Dawson for Brisbane. He can switch it. He's got Hinge inside the centre square, and he takes the mark. Just held up on the mark there from Bowie. So Hinge sends it to left half forward. Marking is Allison. He can wheel around and just bomb it to the top of the square. Oh, Leslie almost takes a great pack mark, but couldn't hold on to it. And the umpire will call for a ball up 15 metres out from goal.
So once again it breaks down for the Gold Coast coming out of half back towards the wing. It's that third kick, Jess.
So from the ball up, and the Suns will come away with it through Schoenfeld to Barlow to Hanley. Just chips it to Greenwall. He can't take the diving mark. Frost mops up for the Lions, but he can't hit a target in Hinge. Now the Suns go again through Hanley. He's close to the boundary line. Just fends off two players and then handballs to Greenwall. Chips it inboard. One-on-one contest. Ball to ground. Starcevic now for the Lions. Chain of handballs ends up with Allison in the centre square. He just puts on the afterburners from 60 to the top of the square. 2-on-1 favouring the Suns. Ball goes to ground. And Symington. But they've under pressure again, the Suns. Still not out of danger. Scrimshaw just gets around one. Handballs to Barlow. He goes backwards to Spencer. And then his great switching kick finds Foster in the right back pocket.
So Foster takes off, uses the right foot and hits a target beautifully in Tui lower. Lower on the outer side. He's got Schoenfeld right on the logo. Nobody on the mark. Take off, son. He does. Kicks it inside 50 looking for Baru. Good contest from he. Ballenden enters the fray. Baru cleverly taps it. Misses the target though. Picked up by Buick. Back to Ballenden. Ballenden scrubs it. Gets it to McFadden, who picks it up. Handball to Dawson, now to Coleman, who can't control it. Eventually does, and then Leslie tackles him. He lost the ball. Leslie threw him. And that was the second action, which will give the free kick to Coleman on the outer side. It was a great tackle to start with. He just threw him down after he lost the ball. So umpire said there was nothing else he could do. So Keys now chips it back into Bastanak, who's really just racking up the stats in the first quarter. He lowers his eyes and hits Clay Beams on the lead. That's a strong mark up against some heavy defence from Kwabi Boki. So Clay Beams, who's scored one of the goals for the Brisbane Lions, will come in and have a ping at it from around about 50. No problem with distance. It's all about the accuracy for him.
So at 30 minutes played in the first quarter, and the Lions are shooting for their sixth goal. They've come out to play here for a spot in the top six, and they're doing it very well at the moment.
So Clay Beams, captain of the NEAFL Premiership team last year for the Brisbane Lions. From 49, the right foot. It's a good-looking kick, but it just fades right at the end, and one behind. 5-6, 36, plays two straight 12. So it's four straight goals to the Brisbane Lions. They're leading it late in the first term on NEAFL TV.
So Scrimshaw to Hanley. He's called a play on, not 15. Just tries to spear a kick to Foster, who then handballs to Lower. Now ends up with Barlow, but his handball's intercepted by Skinner, who drills a pass to centre half forward. And Quint spots up a teammate in Allison, who's marked just inside forward 50.
He should just put down the glasses and have a ping at it. He's got the distance, Jacob Allison, not an issue. He's a prodigious kick of the football, and if you've got a weapon like that, I reckon you might as well have a go at it, especially when you're leading by 4 goals late in the first term.
Well, we've seen him absolutely kick some monster goals in the NEAFL so far this season. So we'll have a crack. Allison from 52 metres. It'll go right to the line. It won't make the distance. Off hands, Foster. Oh, sorry, Dawson tries to mop up for the Suns, but his tackle will have a ball up 15 metres out from goal.
Yeah, didn't quite hit it well, Jacob Allison there. It was sort of like a three-quarter strike. There's a little bit of action going on in the forward pocket as well. And that's the end of the first quarter here on NEAFL TV. The Brisbane Lions got out to a flyer, 5-6, 36 to the Suns, 2 straight 12. So it's 4 straight goals at quarter time. For the Brisbane Lions, Stackelberg, Beams, Wooler, Buick and McFadden have goals. And for the Gold Coast Suns, Baru and Rosa will be back with the second quarter very shortly. From Carrara here at Metricon Stadium, this is NEAFL TV. Welcome back to Carrara Metricon Stadium, the home of the Gold Coast Suns. They're taking on the Brisbane Lions here for NEFL TV round 17. And at quarter time, it's the Brisbane Lions out to a 5-6-36 to 2 straight goals lead. They lead by 24 points, the Lions. Goals by Stackelberg, Beams, Wooler, Buick and McFadgen. For the Gold Coast, Baru and Rosa have a goal apiece. The stats are mounting up for Ryan Bastanak and Ben Keys of the Brisbane Lions. 13 for Bastanak, 10 for Keys. Michael Barlow's got 9 for the Suns, with Schoenfeld 8, and Matt Rosa and Piers Hanley 7 apiece as well. It's Michael Price and Jess Webster calling all of your action. And Jess, the Lions dominated that quarter. Probably, even though they're in front by 4 goals, it could have been a lot worse for the Gold Coast Suns. I think what's interesting, Pricey, is that Gold Coast have actually had 51% of possession, which I don't think that we would have, just the general feel of the game, I don't think, that, we would have really thought that. But it's just the way that I think the Lions, they run and carry, and they just move it inside forward 50 really quick. And it's just that overwhelming pressure that I think has just got the Suns a little bit rattled at the moment. And the Lions, they're off to a flyer. And as we've mentioned, the winner of this game will go back inside the NEFL top 6 after the Giants beat Sydney University earlier today. So a lot riding on this game. So disposals 83-79 in favour of the Suns. The Lions are getting the bigger share of the hitouts, 19-9, basically due to the service given by Archie Smith, and the tackling stats are more or less the same, 15 to the Suns and 13 to the Brisbane Lions. A beautiful day here on the Gold Coast. It's 22 odd degrees. We've just got the shadows going across the ground here at Carrara as we have a look at this, the curtain raiser to the Gold Coast versus Carlton match later on this evening here on the coast. Just waiting for the umpire to get ready. He holds the ball aloft, and Jess Webster will get you going for the second quarter on NEFL TV. So Archie Smith against Caleb Graham in the ruck as the umpire on his steady approach slams it into the turf, and Keys roves it for the Lions. Handballs to Starcevic, but he couldn't gather it. Back to Keys. Ball is still alive, and now it spills out. Schoenfeld, he can't gather it, but Bailey Scott can. Handballs to Barlow, just snaps it around the corner inside 50, dropping the mark. I think it was Conan. Mopping up is Ainsworth, flying shot, a goal, and it's through. That's the start that Gold Coast needed out of the centre square, and a fantastic finish there by Ainsworth for their third goal. Lions 5-6-36 lead the Suns 3 straight 18. Ben Ainsworth, a number 4 draft pick out of 2016, coming back into the NEFL side after a break with injury, and what a finish that was. But Dirk Conan, he attacked that ball full tilt, probably deserved to take the mark, but well rove from Ainsworth, front and centre, and a great finish from 50 metres. Exactly what the Suns would have wanted to start this quarter. As we get back into the middle of the ground, let's see if they can back that up. 27 seconds it took of the second term here on NEFL TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV. As Smith gets it down, it's Dawson who gets smashed into the ground. He manages to get back up with the ball. How do you do that? Third effort from Dawson. Brilliantly done. Rosa kicks it inside 50. Mitchell Hinge floats across the face of the pack. Gets a handball away. It's still in dispute. Hinge goes back in, misses the ball. Suns still with a chance. Well done, Bailey Scott. Comes back out to Ainsworth, lowers the eyes, hits a target in Caleb Graham right on the paint of 50. Graham, he goes to measure a pass. Oh, slipping at the last moment was Cody Stackelberg, so picking it up for the Gold Coast Suns was Timokai Bowie. Kicks it into the forward pocket. That didn't touch any hands. It's out of bounds on the full. Will be a free kick to the Brisbane Lions. They've started with a more positive intent factor here, the Gold Coast Suns. Absolutely. They've certainly lifted in the first couple of minutes. So the Lions now deep in defence. Mitch Hinge just drives it outside defensive 50. 2-on-2 contest. Archie Smith at the front. And he rows, but he's coughed it up. Schoenfeld. Now it ends up with Scrimshaw. Kicks inside 50. Pack forms. And umpire's found a free kick for holding, and it's going Gold Coast way. Yeah, it was the big fella there, Symington. Basically, they just worried about him. The big size, he's 190-odd centimetres, 90-odd kilos as well. He's a good size about him, and they were worried about him, just held him back. And if he can knock this through, it'll really ignite what the Gold Coast are up about in this second quarter. So Symington, the under-19 academy player, he comes in and makes no mistake, and the Suns have 2 in a row at Carrara.
Brisbane 5-6-36. The Suns 4 straight 24. And we have played 3 minutes in the second term.
Great start from the Gold Coast Suns, and this is obviously the scoring end to the right of screen here. The breeze is a factor, but I only thought it was a factor up this high in the grandstands, I've got to say, where you have to wear a jacket at the minute. But they've really started with intent, the Suns. That's exactly what Coach Nick Malcheski would have wanted in this second term after it was a real struggle for them to move the ball forward in the first term against the Brisbane Lions.
They're starting to win more of the contested ball and getting it out of congestion. So let's see what they can muster from this centre clearance.
So ball back in the middle. Archie Smith up against Caleb Graham. Give that one to Graham, in fact. The ball bounces down. Archie Smith pinches the clearance back. Dawson gets it back to Rosa, who now kicks it to half forward. Beautiful juggling mark, Liam Dawson, the Aspley product. Plays on, immediately goes laterally and finds Beams. Now the run of Johnson. Under a fair bit of pressure, he turns the ball over. Ainsworth now skids back into the corridor. He's got Conan and he's got he's got Symington. Different numbers, or same numbers, different sides. Harry Symington, he kicked the last one. Can he back it up with 2 goals in a row? 3 goals in a row for the Suns to start the second quarter.
So great to see Symington back out on the park. He's missed most of this year through injury. Almost got drafted last year. So he'll want a huge back end of the season, and this will really lift his confidence and the Suns' confidence.
Harry Symington from 30, directly in front. Bangs the 3rd one in a row through for the Suns and his 2nd in a row. 5 straight 30. Now only 1 goal separating the Suns and the Lions. 5-6-36. We played 5 minutes of the second term. Neefle TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV, and the game hotting up Jess Webster.
God, I'd love to see or love to hear what was said at quarter time in the Suns camp. What we noticed during the quarter time break is that before the players got to the Suns coaching staff, Michael Barlow had them in a huddle just outside the centre square and had a good talking to them before they went to their coaches. So obviously weren't happy with the effort in the first quarter, and they've come out all guns blazing in the second. Well,
he's got the great experience, hasn't he, Michael Barlow? And how about his performance last week against Sydney in the upset win? 50 disposals, 11 clearances. Not bad effort.
So we're back in the middle, and the Suns are running hot at Carrara. Archie Smith wins the tap straight down Dawson's throat, but he can't gather it. Keys now has a go at it. Ball spills out. Butterick, but he can't escape. And we will have a ball up in the real centre circle, should we call it, Pricey?
Oh, yeah, the real one, the most bright. It's, as I keep saying, it looks like a Led Zeppelin album cover when you get the centre circles lined up in the middle. Matt Rosa can't quite pick it up. He was buffeted off it by Keys, who then misses the kick. Jacob Dawson comes in, a tackled immediately. Could have been high. Ball spills. Buick. He goes in very, very hard. Too hard, in fact. No, he copped the... Yes, it was too hard. It was a Gold Coast free kick. So now they move it forward. They're playing advantage. Umpire lets them go. They're just outside attacking 50. Ball goes in there. Dawson with a deft touch. Just got it over the boundary line. Read it nicely and courageously went back with the flight. So it'll be a throw-in the left forward pocket for the Suns. They're pressing and only trailing by 6 straight points.
So 4 goals to none in the opening 6 minutes of the second term to the Gold Coast. Brought the margin back to within a kick. And they're inside 50 once again. From the throw-in, Smith handballs to Bassanak. A high up and under kick. Hard to mark this one. Off hands. And the ball should be wrapped up. And we will have a ball up 40 metres out directly in front of the Suns' goal.
There's a lot of players around this ball too. The Lions really wanting to sort of block it up. Umpire throws it up. Archie Smith just kicks it out of mid-air. Bell gets rid of his opponent in Hanley, a former teammate, and then drills it forward. Jacob Dawson goes in. Spencer overruns it. Starcevic did well in the traffic, Starcevic, and then got a beautiful pass to Beams, who took a strong mark. That could be... Oh, no, umpire said it must have been touched off the boot, so play on. Starcevic goes back, does the backing up. Gets back to Bell. Now it's a little chipping pass. Finds his teammate there in Bastanak.
Looks like Gold Coast have given Foster the job on Bastanak today, and he'll learn a lot because Bastanak is absolutely on fire at the moment. Yeah, how many possessions is he up to now?
Well, he's had 13, so this is 14 now.
And already a goal to his name.
And this could add a goal to his name. He hasn't kicked one yet. And a little chipping pass comes in board and finds Toby Wooler. So just a little closer and a little bit straighter, but still going to be a reasonable kick required from Wooler. He's already kicked a goal. He kicked one last week as well. He's the captain for the day. Did his job, won the toss. And he's going to line up. He's going to have to kick this one from just inside 50. Taking his time as well. Toby Wooler from about 47. Starts it right, and it's right, in fact, into the post. So 7 points the margin, and that's the amount of points the Lions have kicked. 5-7, plays 5 straight. We've played 9 of the second term. Neefle TV as the Suns play on.
So Hanley kicks to himself, and then a short chip finds Leslie. Leslie. Kick finds Ainsworth right inside the boundary line. At right half back. He measures a 15-metre pass to Rosa. And they're inching closer towards goal. Rosa. He's got Butterick in a bit of space. That's a great kick and a great mark. Quick to play on. Handballs to Ainsworth now over the top to Greenwall, but his handball doesn't hit the target. Ball in dispute. Keneally in there for Brisbane. Advantage is paid. Beams chips it inside forward 50. Wooler's got a bit of space on Spencer. Just tries to measure it to Bell, but he couldn't take the grab, and Scrimshaw's away for the Suns.
And he delivers a beautiful pass out wide, finds his teammate in Oaya. He's got it up to Conan. Overshoots a handball now to Schoenfeld, who puts in a little chipping pass and hits his target in Timokai Bowie.
It was a really smart keep, because had he blazed away to the top of the square, Brisbane had numbers back and they would have mopped that one easily. So he had to lower the eyes and hit a target.
Bowie gives the handball off now to Scrimshaw, who lets one go from 50. Oh, beautifully struck into the post. And another one for the Gold Coast Suns. So 5-7 plays 5-1, 6 points the margin.
We've certainly got a contest on our hands at Carrara as Dawson bombs it outside defensive 50. Off hands, Hanley, quick kick inside 50. 2-on-1 favouring the Lions, but it spills to McDonald. Handball over the top to Fitzroy. Greenwall, a right foot snap, didn't quite get the connection. And eventually spills off hands for a throw in, and I think he's hurt.
Yeah, he's down, is Greenwall there. I don't know whether he did an ankle but he's certainly in that contest as he tried to hook the ball back in, landed awkwardly. So we'll keep an eye on Fitzroy Greenwall. He's an exciting product, 2 goals last week, and he's already had a fair shot at it today. Throw in, Smith with a double tap. Lands in the arms of Schoenfeld, who doubles back. Handball. Now it's picked up there for Brisbane from Stackelberg. Turned over, though, from Starcevic, and the Gold Coast have it through Connor Butterick, the Southport product. Just, beautiful pass. It was a wonderful pass to find Symington, and Symington basically dropped a pud. It was worth its weight in gold, that kick, as Scrimshaw has it. Got the handball away. Ballenden comes through from Brisbane, paddles it to his own advantage, then to the advantage of Quint, who can't pick it up. Foster turns it over. Scrimshaw to the run of Pierce Hanley.
Hanley, handballs to Dawson. He's got Butterick out wide and goes to him. He just throws it on the boot, but it wasn't a great kick at all. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Brisbane, as we see Fitzroy Greenwall being carried off the ground. He can't put any weight on that ankle, and they're just trying to get him off the ground as quickly as possible. Yeah,
that's not a good sign for Fitzroy Greenwall. We call him the excitement machine. He's got speed to burn, and he's actually the trainers have just put him down to let him put a little bit of weight back on it, just so perhaps that's a better sign for him. But he's going to go off through the interchange gates as well, so it's not the end of the game officially yet for Fitzroy Greenwall.
So Coleman just chips in board to Frost. And he's got Sloan in space and hits him just inside defensive 50. Handballs to Coleman, but he's under pressure. It affected the kick, but he's got Stackelberg out wide. It pays off for the Lions. So Stackelberg just chips it down the line. The Suns players run into each other, and Scrimshaw comes through. No, the umpire is picked out a free kick for holding, going to Josh Preval. So
Josh Preval just torn off the ball there. Get a free kick in front of the Gold Coast interchange gates. That's a long kick. in the Ballenden direction. Beautifully read there by Leslie, who can't quite control the ball. Schoenfeld put himself in, immediately tackled by Ballenden and the Brisbane player in Stackelberg, and will get a ball up right on the paint of 50. It's the Lions leading by 6 straight points, 13 minutes gone. Second term, this is Neefle TV through our broadcast partner, Bar TV, live from Metricon Stadium, Carrara. Good slap down by Graham. It's intercepted by Starcevic. He can't control it. Jacob Dawson picked it up. Was got spun around, got the handball to Barlow. Now they'll get out of it through Bailey Scott. He intercepted it. Clay Beams gave it to Buick, who panicked a little bit, had more time than he thought. Got it onto the left shoe. Starcevic couldn't go back and take the mark, and it's gone through for a behind. So 7 straight behinds the lead now. 38 plays 31, 14 gone, second term.
Pierce Hanley again. Spears a kick to centre half back and drills it to Bowie, and he's got player out wide in McDonald. Just chips it into the path of Symington, who handballs to the running Barlow, gets around one, handballs over the top to Oaya, and then finds Conan in the pocket. Great transition from the Suns, and Conan will have a shot on goal, 20 metres out, but on a tight angle. Yeah, well done from Oaya as well, because he could have just blasted away. He had his teammate in Tui lower in the goal square, but he lowered the eyes and then chipped it nicely. Conan didn't have to move to collect that ball. Well done, the young man. So this for 4 goals in a row to the Suns, but he sprayed it wide, just snuck through for a minor score. Lions 5-8-38, the Suns 5-2-32, 14.5 gone in the second. And so the Suns have fought back in this second term. The Lions have only scored the 2 behinds. The Suns with 3 goals too. That's a booming kick too, into the middle of the ground through the hands of Starcevic. It's picked up there. It was Ryan Gilmore tackled into the ground, I believe it was. Picked up there by McFadgen, the free kick. A long kick in the direction of a teammate. Beautifully roved by Bailey Scott. Got the handball away. Got one high as well. Play on, advantage. Jacob Dawson now. It's going to come through hands, go through Bowie, who's tackled, ball stuck underneath. That's a great tackle there too. Absolutely monstered him, did Sam Skinner. Still battling for the ball on the ground. It was a great battle between Skinner and Bowie at ground level. The umpire will come in and call it a draw, and we'll ball it up. So 60 out from the Suns' goal. From the ball up, Keys just hacks it out of there. 2-on-2 contest. Foster handballs to Hanley, back to Foster. He's got Spencer out the back, and then handballs out wide to Rosa. Now he chips it and finds Barlow. Wing position out of side. Barlow wheels around. He's got Lower inside the centre square. Oh, but his handball doesn't hit the target. Foster's good enough to get out of trouble and chips it to Bailey Scott at half forward. He gets around Mitch Hinge. Back to Boakey. Handballs to Butterick. He's under pressure. Buick slips the tackle. Then handballs backwards to Boakey. But his kick inside 50 is intercepted by Sloan for the Lions. Sloan finds Mitch Hinge just inside defensive 50. Hinge measures the ball beautifully. Finds Buick in front of Boakey. Now Buick, the left foot, and straight down the throat of a fellow West Australian in Matt Rosa, who gleefully accepts it and drills it into the pocket. No mark paid. Don't know what's happening there with Symington, but Liam Dawson clears the ball. Tom Bell comes in, and that's well done. That's a good contest from little Connor Butterick. Came up against Tom Bell and knocked Tom Bell over. It's hard to keep your feet when Tom Bell's running off the interchange, charging at the football. That's a David and Goliath effort there from Butterick. Well played, young man. Knocked Tom Bell on his freckle. You don't see that very often. He's a brute, is Tom Bell. And there's the throw in. Archie Smith in front. Slaps it down. Jacob Dawson. Well done, Starcevic, who takes it through the interchange gates for the Suns, and through for another throw in, and it's the Suns still pressing. They're trailing by 6 points, 17 gone. So we have 3 goals in the space of 6 minutes to start this second term, but we've had no goals in the next 10 minutes. So a bit of a stalemate here at Carrara. Certainly got a contest on our hands. From the boundary throw in, Dawson slipped over. Archie Smith mops up. Handballs to Keys. Little dribbler kick towards half forward. Keneally can't gather it for the Lions, and it spills over the boundary line for a throw-in. Left half forward for the Lions. So 6 points to the margin. And we've played 17.5 minutes in the second term. Smith in the ruck against Caleb Graham. Smith just pushes him out of the way, wins the footy, sends it inside 50. No mark taken. Scrimshaw first to meet it for the Suns. He overruns it. Keneally now. Handballs backwards to Bastanak, but his kick is smothered. Ricochets over the boundary line for a throw-in, 40 metres around from the Lions' goal.
Scoreboard end to the left of screen here on Neefle TV. The Lions attacking at the minute. Only the two behinds for the Lions. Then we played nearly 19 minutes of this second term, so the Suns have really hit back hard in the second term after a pretty disappointing opening term from the home side. The throw in. Preval. Nicely picked up by Ainsworth. He hooks it. Well played by Baru. Boak just could not tap it back to himself as Frost enters the fray for Brisbane. Now Archie Smith chips it forward to Bell. Dawson did well. Bodied him out. Well done there by Symington. Got the handball through. Missed Bokey. Ainsworth again gets through traffic. Classy work there. Kicks it inside 50. Big fly at the back, but at the front. Well read by Billy Johnson, and then had the presence of mind to play on and find Bastanak in the right back pocket.
Well done in defence as Bastanak chips over the top to Mays. Haven't seen a lot of him this afternoon, Mays, but that's a beautiful kick into the corridor to find Frost. Goes for a bit of a run, then bombs it inside 50. But first to meet it was Gilmore, but he's dispossessed. Ball spills out to Beams, handballs inboard to Allison, gets around one, then left foot kick towards the hot spot. 2-on-1 contest favouring the Suns, and they fist it over the line for a minor score. Lions 5-9-39, the Suns 5-2-32. The Suns are quick to bring it back in, and Max Spencer has marked in the back pocket.
So the Palm Beach Currumbin product chips it down the line, finds Michael Barlow. Starting to rack him up again. That's touch number 15 for Michael Barlow. Back to Spencer. Now it's going to go back down the line. Just waxing a little bit here. A mark taken there by Bailey Scott. Scott goes down the outer wing. This is going to favour Sam Mays. He actually got paid as a push. It'll go to Emmanuel Baru. Mays only with the 4 touches today, not having the greatest of day. Kicks it inside forward 50. Now it's Timokai Bowie, who's found space, bounces and hits the fat side of the ball, so he doesn't hook it around. It ends up being a pass. Caleb Graham, handball now to his teammate in Butterick. Butterick slams it through, and that's a good mark taken. Is that Symington again? Taking the diving effort it is. He's already kicked 2. The Timokai Bowie, I thought he was going to put on a goal of the day performance there and then smashed his boot into the middle of the footy.
Oh, he turned his opponent inside out, but just couldn't quite get the connection. But well done, Butterick. That was a low spearing ball and a great mark by Symington. This for his 3rd for the quarter.
So Harry Symington for the Suns from 30. Deadeye Dick is Harry. 3 straight goals. So 6-2-38, it's a 1-point ball game. Plays 5-9-39. The Lions lead it by 1 point, 21 gone, second term.
Certainly didn't see this coming at quarter time, did we, Pricey? The Lions were all over the Suns in that first quarter, and they looked like they were going to run riot here at Carrara, but Gold Coast have absolutely hit back in the second. And he's 4 goals to nothing so far, and we've played nearly 22 minutes. They just came out with so much more intent. They obviously got a talking to at quarter time that their pressure and intensity wasn't up to scratch, and now they're winning the clearances and winning the contested ball and really fighting for everything, I think.
Oh, that chat that Michael Barlow gave to them at quarter time before they went to the coaches' spots, he had him in the middle of the ground and was giving him a fair talking to. It didn't seem too demonstrative, but just a little bit of experience talking. So whatever he said, good luck to him there. See how I talked over the umpire? So because I knew that the umpire was not going to bounce it straight.
It was a shocking bounce.
Oh, look, umpire Brett Ritchie is one of the great umpires, a former AFL umpire, and it's one of the hardest skills in the game. They will get rid of it eventually.
Didn't hit the sweet spot, but here's Bastanak for the Lions. His kick around the corner, marked by Foster. He can chip it out wide, but it's intercepted by Buick, and he's off. Sends it inside forward 50, but didn't hit Bell on the lead. Coming through again is Buick. Handballs out the back to Bell. He's tackled by Spencer, and now Foster intercepts. High up and under kick is marked by Bastanak. And the Lions can go forward again.
So Ryan Bastanak, leading possession winner on the ground. And there's another whistle on play. He kicks long into the pocket. It bounces away from Bell. Leslie can't control it. This is danger for the Suns. Entering the fray there and getting absolutely pounded was Caleb Graham. The ball stuck underneath him, and we'll get a ball up in the right forward pocket. Lions by a point, 23 gone, second term. Archie Smith in the ruck. Gets it down. Ainsworth roves, gets the handball away, misses the target. Barlow's looking for a free kick. Several bodies in. Umpire hugs himself again. We'll ball it up about a metre away from the last one in the right forward pocket. Lions by a point.
So 23 minutes gone in this second term. From the ball up, Keneally. It spills to Barlow, to Schoenfeld. Now to Rosa, under pressure, but he finds Ainsworth with the hands. He goes over the top to Awaya. Now to Symington, who goes long down the line. Frost can't. Yes, he does, Mark. Mark is paid over Conan. And Frost just chips it inboard to Beams. And he's got a man in space in Skinner. Quick hands to Coleman. Drills it inside 50. Coming out on the lead is Preval, but he can't gather it. And now the Suns through McDonald. Kick is partially smothered. Butterick just tries to fend off one and then wins a free kick for High. A little bit of a lucky let-off there because he was well wrapped up by Hinge.
He's done a few good things today, Connor Butterick. Diminutive player, but shows plenty of heart and skill. That's a beautiful kick back to Jack Scrimshaw. Scrimshaw now measures a pass again. Finds his teammate in Caleb Graham, who loops a handball over the top to Foster. Foster goes long. He's got his teammate there in Gilmore. Gilmore wants to play on, does so. They're going to move it again, the Suns, through the shade of the outer side. There's another little chipping pass to find Schoenfeld on 50. So it was a deliberate build-up until that very moment where it came off the side of the shoe. And Starcevic intercepted, gave it to Allison. Now it's out to Keys. So it was very deliberate and slow, and then it fell apart within a second.
Yep, that's what skill errors will do to you. So Keys just forced to kick a high up and under down the line in the Archie Smith direction, but coming through with the fist was Caleb Graham. We will have a throw-in, wing position out of side.
Now, Archie Smith might be leading the hit-outs, but I think Caleb Graham and his teammates are actually doing a good job on Archie Smith around the ground, so he's not actually dominating any possession tallies, and that was shown there again with that spoil. Well done.
So the two will go at it in the ruck. The throw-in falls short. Archie Smith taps it to Bastanak. He just measures a kick to Keys. Well done, Scrimshaw to spoil, but Keys good enough to find Beams, and then he loops a handball to Buick. He drills it inside 52. Keneally on the lead, but I don't think he's got the distance in him. He'll have to kick at 50 metres right up against the boundary line. So what will he elect to do? He just pops it to the hot spot, but he's called back. Ran off his line. No,
what happened there is I think Tom Bell was just going to come in and act as a shepherding person on next to the mark, and umpire Brett Ritchie was alert to that one and came over and said, no. Get away from it and let the young man have his shot. But having seen that last kick, I'm not convinced about this next one having the distance.
So, Keneally, just outside forward 50, just pops it to the hot spot. Pack forms off hands. Barlow fires out the handball to Schoenfeld. Then inboard to Bailey Scott. Over the top to Boakey. Back to Scott. The Suns ran out of defensive 50 via hands. This is Boakey again. He's run a long way. Just pops it in the direction of Greenwall, who's away, pardon me. But Dawson, great one-on-one contest. Gets boot to ball. Is that going to be called deliberate? Yes, it is.
You're right the first time. It is Fitzroy Greenwall.
It is.
And I could not believe it. It's Lazarus-like comeback.
So from Bowie's kick into the corridors, intercepted by Allison, and the Lions can reload from
I couldn't believe it when I saw him running into goal. I thought the bloke nearly broke his leg down here a little minute ago. Anyway, the Lions have it on the outer side. Ben Keys gets away from Bailey Scott, measures a pass. Oh, Skinner got a push fair in the back there. Could have been a free kick regardless. Now the umpire has said, yep. Feeling a little bit... it was actually McFadden who got the push. Feeling a little bit off there. Gives it to Mays. Mays kicks it to the top of the square. Offhands, great tackling effort. Kept the ball in there. It was Michael Barlow over the top for the Suns. And underneath, let's have a look and see who's the last one who comes up. It's Jacob Dawson who provided that tackle. Just locked the ball underneath Brandon Starcevic. Nothing to do there. Archie Smith pushed his opponent out of the way, grabbed it out of the ruck, had a ping and missed by that much. 1 point. So 40 plays 38. It's 2 points late in the second term in favour of the Lions.
So Hanley, great kick finds McDonald. Still inside defensive 50. McDonald chips it to Foster. Dawson, fires out a handball to Schoenfeld. And chips it to Bowie. Back to Schoenfeld. Handball's over the top to Butterick. Goes for a run and then kicks it towards half forward, but no one really there, and Mays takes the intercept mark for the Lions. Switches it into the corridor and finds Bastanak. Bastanak handballs to McFadden, who then switches it to the outer side, and Beams will battle Barlow. Just wheels around. Kicks it in front of Hinge, who gets around Boakey. And then a long kick inside 50. Keys against Scrimshaw. Scrimshaw got his fingertips to it. And good enough to save the day for a minor score. Scrimshaw kicks it back in. And taking the mark is Ainsworth.
So, yes, indeed, there goes the siren for half-time, right on the 29.5-minute mark. I thought Ben Keys had to sit there. He had to have a go at it. Instead, he waited for Jack Scrimshaw. Never mind, he intercepted it. So there was only 5 straight behinds to the Brisbane Lions in that quarter, 5-11-41. They still lead it by 3 points to the Suns, 6-2-38. The Suns with 4 goals too in that quarter. So after the Lions led by 24 points at quarter time, they lead by 3 at half-time. Your goal scorers, well, for the Lions, haven't changed. It's Stackelberg, Beams, Wooler, Buick and McFadden. And for the Suns, it's Baru, Rosa, Ainsworth and Harry Symington with the last 3 goals of the game. We'll be back with the second half very shortly on NEFL TV through our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Welcome back to Carrara, Metricon Stadium. It is the home of the Gold Coast Suns. They're up against the Brisbane Lions for NEFL TV round 17. Michael Price and Jess Webster calling all of your action. And quarter time, Brisbane Lions led by 24 points. At halftime, they lead by 3. 5-11-41 to the Suns, 6-2-38. Jess, the Lions came out with a fly in the first quarter. The Suns arrested that and really squared it up in the second term.
Tale of two quarters, as cliche as it is, Pricey. We've got a game on our hands at halftime. So as we enter the premiership quarter, who can take control of the contest with a place in the top 6 on the line? So from the ball up, I think it's Caleb Graham who'll win a free kick for a high. So handball's off to Dawson, who just bangs it inside 50, but no one there, and taking the mark is Liam Dawson. But there's a free kick going the Suns' way. Was that for a push out? Pricey, I didn't quite see that one.
Umpire signalled that it was a shepherd out. Umpire Ritchie has said that Timokai Bowie was shepherded out of the contest to allow Liam Dawson the free entry in to mark that. So didn't quite see the player who was adjudged to have done it.
So Timokai Bowie will shoot for 5 in a row for the Gold Coast Suns. It goes right to the line, but fisted over for a minor score. They're inching towards that lead. The Lions 5-11-41, the Suns 6-3-39.
So 2 points the margin early doors, third quarter, NEFL TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV. Of course, we're all proudly sponsored and supported by the good people at Elastoplast. You can see that product around the left leg of Mitchell Hinge as he kicked it towards Matt Rosa. Unfortunately for the other team, Matt Rosa on the outer wing kicks it inside 50. Well read at the front. Sam Skinner just floated across and belted the ball over the boundary line. We're going to throw in the right forward flank. The Lions leading by the 2 points. So, of course, the curtain raiser for the AFL game between the Gold Coast Suns and Carlton here at Carrara later on this evening. It's a beautiful evening for football. About 21 degrees now. Not a breath of wind as the crowd starts to pour into Carrara Stadium. Smith gets rid of Caleb Graham, gets it down to Buick, who tows it forward. Barlow leads in the chase. Just threw it up in the air to Leslie. Leslie back. Ballenden slaps it out towards Rosa. Rosa tries to keep it in. Skinner tackles him over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in. On the outer side.
So just having a look at some of these key position winners. Pricey, Bastanak, 21 disposals. Barlow up to 18 now for the Suns, and Schoenfeld with 16. Getting his hands on the footy.
Well, the Blood Nut doing it well. Slapped down by Archie Smith to Buick. Buick tows it forward. Big fist into the middle of the ground. Schoenfeld leads in the chase. Well done to get it through from Bastanak. Now Johnson inside 50. Well read, well cut off by Max Spencer. Handball now to Hanley. Hanley tackled to Spencer. Spencer into the Hanley direction, who did well to get around traffic. Sells a big dummy. Tries to put the don't argue on. Tackled by Cody Stackelberg into the ground. Pierce Hanley just trying a little bit too much. And Stackelberg reading it beautifully.
So Stackelberg already got a goal to his name so far this afternoon. Kick inside 50. And roving is Starcevic. Shot on goal. And that is through for Brisbane. Their first since the opening quarter. And they extend their lead. 6 goals, 11, 47. The Suns 6-3-39. Their first goal in over a quarter of football. That
tackle just broke. The tackle did Brandon Starcevic, the number 18 pick from the 2017 draft. Just a little bit too easy for mine. Broke through that and just managed to poke it through 20 metres out directly in front and gets another goal for the Brisbane Lions. 8 points the margin. Just going down the lift at the halftime break and managed to catch up with one of the Suns' assistant coaches who's very heavily involved with the NEFL side, in Andrew Rains, former Gold Coaster and Brisbane Lions and Richmond player himself. Very excited about the number of young prospects the Gold Coast Suns have in their list.
So we're back in the middle, and the Lions have drawn first blood in the third quarter as Bastanak emerges with it. Handballs to Buick, a high up and under kick to half forward. Ballenden can't mark. It spills to Rosa. Handballs out the back to Barlow. He's got Bokey in space, but wrapping him up is Buick. That's a great tackle. Ball spills out, and it'll be a throw-in, but Bokey, I thought, almost got done for holding the ball.
Buick could have been rewarded for that tackle in two ways, holding the ball and or the deliberate disposal out of bounds, but Boakey very lucky to survive that one.
So throw in, half forward for the Lions. Smith against Graham, falls to Bastanak, whacks it on the boot inside 50. Ballinen comes out to meet it. Leslie with the fist for the Suns. Spills to Bastanak, handballs to Beams. He's got Buick on the inside. A running shot at goal. He's got the distance, not the accuracy. Through for a minor score. 6-12-48 the Lions, 6-3-39 to the Suns.
So it's a welter of opportunity for the Brisbane Lions. They just haven't been able to capitalise at the minute. Ball brought back in. It's a long kick. Smith takes a good mark, gets rid of his opponent and Caleb Graham. 55 out, the big man wheels around, the right foot, top of the square. Big fly with the one mitt, it couldn't drag it down. Towed off the deck, through. Was that... Looks like Quint.
I think
no,
it was.
sorry. I'll have a good look. It's Cody Stackelberg, number 56, who got it. Well, they're claiming it anyway, so we'll give that one to him. 7 goals, 12-54 the Lions. The Suns 6-3-39.
It was a great roving effort, though. And all of a sudden, like Suns, you feel like going into the third quarter, had the momentum after that stunning second term, but Lions have come out and kicked 2 in 5 minutes.
Well, this is definitely the scoring end to your right of screen here at Carrara. 5 goals to the Lions in the first quarter, 4 to the Suns in the second, and the opening 2 goals of the term here in the third.
So we're back in the middle, and the Lions have regained the ascendancy. Ball spills out. Bastanak will lead in the race for this one. Decides to soccer it off the ground in the direction of Stackelberg. Great pick-up. Handballs to Sloan. Tried to go back. In fact, it was Jesse Quint. And the umpire's called holding the ball for diving on the footy. It'll be a free kick to the Gold Coast Suns. And away is Butterick. Drives it inside 50. Lions should win out in numbers. They elect to go with the fist. Buick will be first there. Just pops up the handball into the path of Sloan, but he's run down in a great tackle. Dispossessed. Ball still in dispute, but now it will be called for a ball up, almost in the true centre circle.
15 points the margin. 7 minutes gone, third term. Neefle TV with Michael Price and Jess Webster calling all of your action from Carrara. Well done to Archie Smith, who slapped it down. Bastanak towed it forward. Gold Coast intercept, though. Well done from Greenwall. Got the handball off to his teammate in Lower. He got tackled. Ball comes back to Lower. Now to Jacob Dawson. Has a ping from 45. Curling back. Not enough. 1 point results. 54 plays 40. 14 points the margin, 7.5 gone third term.
So Skinner brings the ball back in for Brisbane. Driving kick outside defensive 50. No mark taken. Ball on the deck. Foster trying to get through. Now Sloan has a crack at it. And Starcevich tries to bustle his way through the pack. Can't quite escape. The umpire will call for a ball up. 70 metres out from the Gold Coast goal. So nearly 8 minutes played in the third term. Smith against Graham. Great tap down from Smith. Lions win the clearance. Ballenden was fisted away by Leslie. I love that battle today between Leslie and Ballenden. We'll have a ball in. Centre wing position on the commentary side, right in front of us here on Neefle TV.
That's 2 tough balls. Jack Leslie and Connor Ballenden right there. Love to see them going full on at the pill here at Carrara. Umpire throws it in front of the Gold Coast bench. Archie Smith against Caleb Graham, who I think is battling manfully today. He ends up getting the ball back. Handball to Jacob Dawson. Loops one over the top. Finds his teammate in Butterick. Little man goes right, then left. That's a good-looking left foot kick. Lace out. How about that for a pass? Oh, Harry Symington made it look bad. It's a couple of times that he's been hit lace out and just let that ball drop. But that was a beautiful kick from Connor Butterick. Just
and on the left as well.
Needed to be rewarded. That once you actually place it lace out for a forward like that, they're almost obliged to take it.
It's a beautiful kick, but the Suns still a chance in attack. Kick is ricocheted. Now the Suns trying to skate with it with Scrimshaw, I think it was, at the bottom of the pack. Almost got done for a throw, but instead did well to wrap it up. And we'll have a ball up just outside the centre square.
Very fortunate. It's a bit of a war of attrition at the moment. tackling stats, well, it's 35-32 in favour of the Lions, so very evenly matched.
Smith wins the tap, and umpire has found a illegal shepherd. Free kick to Gold Coast. Rosa from 50. Oh, just fades to the right-hand side for a minor score. 7-12-54, plays 6-5-41. 9.5 gone in the third term.
We're here on Neefle TV through our broadcast partner Bar TV, and all responsible for it, our supporters in Elastoplast. Thank you very much for your support here on Neefle TV. A long kick from Jack Frost in the Smith direction. Oh, it's punched away from him by Leslie. Beautifully rode by Barlow. Hooks it around on his right shoe and tapped over the line by Frost in front of Ryan Gilmore. We'll get another throw in. Left forward pocket for the Suns. They're pressing us, 19 scoring shots to 11. And they need to make hay while the sun shines when they've got it inside attacking 50.
So, Pricey, I haven't cited Tom Bell so far in this quarter. We saw him with his boot off at half-time. So it could be an injury concern there for the Lions. As from the ball up. And we will have, from the throw-in, a ball up, 80 metres out at left half forward for the Suns. So Smith against Graham. Smith again wins out. Rosa can't run onto it. He does now, but he's wrapped up by Sloane. Ball spills out, still in dispute. Smith off the deck. Coming through is Spencer. Handballs to Ainsworth. Goes backwards to Butterick. He's got Foster in forward, but coming through is Wooler with a great tackle, and now they've turned it over. Sloane kicks to half forward. 2-on-2. He'll win this one. Boakey just runs away with it for the Suns. But his kick is ill-directed and intercepted by Frost for the Lions. He
read it beautifully. He, in turn, kicks an intercept kick, and it's returning the favour. Boakey. Oh, got an ankle tap there. Could have, yeah, umpire from a long way away called it. Because the one in the middle basically saw it as a slip, but it was an ankle tap. It was right in front of us, more or less, here on Neefle TV. So Kwame Boakey will take a free kick at the traditional centre-half back position. Mitchell Hinge stands the mark. He kicks wide and finds Brodie Foster. Foster's got a man in the middle. Another chipping pass into the centre squares, centre circles, and finds Schoenfeld. Back to Foster. So another slow, deliberate build-up. This is what we saw from the Coast in the first quarter. It got them unstuck a couple of times. Ben Ainsworth chips it into space, and again Symington's got plenty of space to lead into. Beautiful pass. He's already kicked 3. Now he wants to move this laterally. Does. Finds Scrimshaw. Beautiful pass. Scrimshaw 50 metres out, directly in front.
Such a crowded forward 50, so Scrimshaw might just have to go back and have a ping. For Gold Coast's first goal of the third quarter, just to keep them in touch with the Lions. They haven't led all day.
So pick number 7 in the 2016 draft, Jack Scrimshaw. Get them close. Taking a very long time about it. The left foot from 52. He's hooked it, just going for that extra bit of distance and one behind results. So 54 plays 42, back to 2 straight goals, the margin. The Lions lead at 13 gone, third quarter. Neefle TV through Bar TV.
So Frost with a kick in duties. It's a driving kick, an 80-metre kick outside defensive 50. It'll fall to Beams. Handballs to Stackelberg, but he can't gather it. And now the Suns can win out Spencer. Handballs inboard to Conan. And he's got Boakey inside the centre square and hits him. So Boakey, just a spearing kick to Schoenfeld. Picks up on the half volley, but now he's run down and that's holding the ball. Free kick to the Lions. And it's going to Starcevic.
Been playing well today. Brandon Starcevic goes laterally, finds Liam Dawson right half back. Dawson now measures it to Sloane, takes it well. Under a fair bit of pressure from Butterick. Now he moves forward, Sloane. Finds his teammate, the late inclusion in Jesse Quint, the Morningside player. Also had a dash with Redland in the Neefle as well. So Jesse Quint comes in to the right forward pocket. Good mark, Clay Beams. Just strength He is a very good mark overhead for his size, is Clay Beams, and there was very little Max Spencer, who's quite a fine defender as well, could do.
Yep, just too good on that occasion is Clay Beams. And this for the Lions' third goal in a row.
He's kicked one, he's facing in, using the left foot, curling, not enough. Not enough on it, one behind result. So there's a chance gone begging for the Lions. 7-13-55, plays 6-6-42. 13 points the margin. So
Scrimshaw hits Conan, handballs off to Foster from defensive 50. Tries to find McDonald, but now the Lions win it on the turnover. Kick inside 50, Scrimshaw underneath it. But there has been a free kick to the Lions for another shepherding out of the contest. And looks like it will go McFadden's way. Preval.
Well, they both look the same, don't they? Jack Leslie. No, we've both done it, Jess. Josh Preval and Connor McFadden, almost identical, dark hair. They're very, very tall and go gadget arms. But once again, Jack Leslie's arguing the case there. He obviously blocked out somebody, according to the umpire. Preval can get his first goal on the board.
So the Lions went goalless in the second term, but have come out and kicked the first two. As Preval on the approach, he doesn't get good connection. That is out of bounds on the full. Free kick going to Max Spencer. So nearly 16 minutes gone in this third term. It's been a game of ebbs and flows, seesawing contest. And how many more twists have we got to come? As Spencer goes to left half back, Archie Smith at the front, takes a great contested grab. Hard to beat him in that occasion. Sends it back inside, forward 50. Hanley wins it for the Suns. And now Butterick. Liked what I've seen from him today. Butterick just drills it down the line. It just bounces inside the line, but Lower can't run onto it, and we will have a throw-in. Centre wing position, commentary side.
Yeah, we both said it. Connor Butterick is impressed in a certain manner tonight. I like the way he goes about his football. Showed some good skill as well. Throw in front of the Gold Coast bench. Archie Smith versus Dirk Conan. Smith, he gets it down to Schoenfeld. Conan goes back in, gives it to Ainsworth. It gets squashed by Clay Beams. It's like a wrestling match, old school wrestling match. There, the figure four leg lock from Clay Beams as the umpire comes in and separates them. We'll get a ball up. Clay Beams with the sponsor's product wrapped around his scone as well. Copped one a little bit earlier. Beautifully roved there by Bastanak. Kicks it over the head of Ballenden. Well done, Foster. Puts his body in hard. Ends up coming out with the ball. He's tackled there by McFadden. Gets the handball back to Spencer. Well done, Spencer. Hits Schoenfeld. Now Ainsworth. Ainsworth now back in with the 45 kick and finds our man, Connor Butterick. Butterick laterally, middle of the ground, finds Bailey Scott. He's got Bokey out on the far side, chips it forward to Lower, Tui Lower. He's got Rosa in the middle, tries to find him, hits Bokey instead. Bokey now, one way, the other, the left foot to the top of the square. Oh, that's a push in the back. Yes, it was. You're better off just flying and going for Mark of the Year champion. You were never going to get him out of the way. Timokai Bowie, and it's a free kick to the Lions.
So Buick goes to a 2-on-2. Archie Smith is there. Ball spills to Wooler and he's wrapped up by Barlow and Max Spencer. He's going nowhere, and we will have a ball up.
You can see signs for the Gold Coast, though, when they do move the ball very quickly. Some of their skills are electrifying.
So coming through is Mays, but winning it is Beams. Drills a pass into the path of Preval, and there is, what's the umpire going to do here?
There's whistles all over the place.
Going for over the mark, was it?
Sorry. Old Mr. Ed
I'm
just
looking
came
for
out.
answers.
Look, I'm looking for answers too. I didn't quite see it. I think it's a really stiff, harsh penalty to pay, but the umpire's a lot closer than we are, as I say. And Preval will get another chance to kick his first goal in his debut game for the Brisbane Lions, Jess, so it's a big moment for the young man.
Yeah, the Lions Academy product is played all of his NEFL footy the last 2 years for Aspley and has shown some promising signs. But this in his club debut, shouldn't miss from here, you wouldn't think. And the Lions can make it 3 unanswered goals in the third quarter as they get around Josh Preval in his club debut. So Brisbane, 8-13-61. Now lead the Suns 6-6-42, and we've played nearly 20 minutes in this third term.
This is definitely the scoring end. 3 goals again and scoreless to the left of screen again. There's only been 2 goals scored to the left of screen. That's it, and we've had 14 of them scored all up. So the good news for the Gold Coast Suns is you'll be kicking that way next quarter.
Well, they wouldn't want to let this lead get any further out than this, Pricey, because it's now, 19 points the margin.
Well, the Lions, again, they're 21 scoring shots to 12, so they've had the ball in there a fair bit more and just taking their chances when they can. Interesting there, Clay Beams has got Matt Rosa as a partner in there. Michael Barlow has been closely escorted by Ben Keys, so some quality in the midfield for both sides. Beams gets it out, shovels it out, in fact, to Sam Mays. Big fly from Preval, punch. Front and centre, well rove Jack Scrimshaw. Hit the pack at top pace, gave it to Brodie Smith. Handball off to Jacob Dawson. He lowers the eyes. Dirk Conan with the rude haircut. Handball into Matt Rosa, has a bounce. It skids off the logo. He helicopters one inside 50, and therefore Liam Dawson was advantaged by that kick. Takes the mark, and Lions defence, they'll get out of it again.
So Dawson just chips it to Coleman at left half back. Coleman with a bit of space. Kicks it to the wing, doesn't quite find Ballenden and skids over the boundary line for a throw-in. Centre wing position, outer side.
Plenty of players racking up touches as well, Jess, as well. Michael Barlow still doing it for the Gold Coast Suns. He's got plenty of the ball. As soon as the phone actually updates, I'll tell you. 21 disposals it is for Michael Barlow.
Smith wins front spot from the throw-in, straight down the throat of Dawson, and then lays a tackle to force a ball up.
Ryan Bastenak still leads the charge, 28 disposals. Brodie Foster and Schoenfeld equal Matt Rosa with 20 for the Gold Coast.
So from the ball up, Barlow's underneath it. Now it spills out. Foster emerges with it. The ball's over the top to Lower. Little 1-2 inside 50 again. Lions almost mucked it up by colliding into each other, but Dawson takes the contested mark. Another inside 50 entry gone begging for the Suns. And
under a lot of pressure here, the Lions defence. I was just a little bit clumsy there. It was actually Oaya. It just came in a little bit too high. And it's Sam Skinner who's going to take the free kick in the back pocket. So just a little bit over enthusiastic going for the ball there. Now Skinner, coming back from his third knee, Rico, goes across goal and finds Liam Dawson. The Aspley product. Kicks it to the run of Sam Mays. Will it stay in for him? No, it doesn't. Just rolls away, goes over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in. 19 points the margin. The Lions lead it. And we've played nearly 22 and a half minutes of the third term on NEFL TV through Bar TV. I'm Michael Price, and this is Jess Webster.
So the Suns need to make their move, because the Lions have dominated most of the contest except for a goalless second quarter where the Suns made a bit of a comeback, but they've controlled it in this third term. So from the ball up, who can win it out of here? Barlow's on his hands and knees. But again, the ball is locked up and we will have a ball up. Wing position outer side.
Have noticed that both sides, I'm not sure whether they're including the experimental Gillon McLaughlin rules, but there's certain amount of players forward and behind the ball. So I wonder if that's a deliberate setup from both sides.
Buick drills a pass to Quint, but Foster wins the ball at ground level. Kick up towards half forward. Fists it away. Dawson will first to meet it for the Suns. Handballs backwards to Rosa. Under pressure with the kick, and Frost takes the easiest of intercepts. Marks. Chips inboard to Bastenak. Mark just outside the centre square. Unsure where to go, and then handballs inboard to Buick. He just loads up. High up and under kick to half forward. Archie Smith comes out and ends up spoiling the contest. Ball now in dispute inside the centre square. Spills out to Bowie. And now Baru. Handballs to Scrimshaw, but he overruns it. Goes again. Kick up towards half forward. Numbers should win out for the Lions, although making a contest of it is Lower. Handballs to Butterick, who drills a pass inside 50, and coming out on the lead is that man, Harry Symington. Great work from Connor Butterick again.
Yeah, and how's the pass? The fullback has no hope of defending a pass that is that good. It's a metre off the ground for 30 metres. And Harry Symington can line up for number 4. Should have about half a dozen on the board, should Harry Symington, so far tonight.
Yeah, it's showing some promising signs up forward. Gold Coast really need this one as Symington comes in. Let's go from 40. And it's through. That's his 4th goal for the afternoon. And the Gold Coast kick their first of the 3rd term. Lions, 8-13-61. Gold Coast, 7-6-48. 13 points the margin, 25 minutes gone in the 3rd term.
Well, if you were just looking at it from face value, you'd think that the Lions would have a much bigger lead on the scoreboard just by the way the game's being played. But the Suns are probably, percentage-wise, for the amount of inside 50s they're getting, they're converting a lot better than the Brisbane Lions at the moment. Lions, of course, with 8 goals, 13, 21 scoring shots, 2-13, and a lot of them have been rejected as well by the Suns' defence. So they're keeping in it, and there is plenty of time here. And as I've said, they're kicking to the right of screen in the final term. That was only the 3rd goal kicked to the left of screen for the entire game so far. So all positive for the Suns at the moment as the ball bounces loose. It's picked up by Barlow and hacked into the middle of the attacking 50. Lions with the numbers in Liam Dawson, who's done beautifully in defence, gives it off to Mitchell Hinge, goes out wide looking for Wooler. It's Sam Mays. It bounces in front of him, and he just takes it straight over the boundary line. Didn't even laconically didn't try to come back in, but I suppose he's not going to get pinged for it this late in the 3rd term. So we'll get a throw in on the Nerang River side of Carrara, the outer side here. Beautiful venue and a lovely afternoon and evening for this round 17 clash of Neefle. On Neefle TV, Archie Smith gets the ball down. Once again, plenty of numbers in and around this clearance. Clay Beams goes in hard. So does Schoenfeld. Ushers the ball out now to Rosa, who puts a sky ball up to half forward. Dawson underneath for Brisbane. Coming over the top, Sam Skinner. Greenwall was front and centre. Sorry, it was Oaya. Oaya puts it inside 50 and it misses Ainsworth, and it also misses Tui Lower. Right forward pocket will get a throw in. Late in the 3rd term, the Lions are leading it by 13 points.
So still a chance for the Suns deep into this 3rd quarter to sneak another goal in and just keep things interesting at 3-quarter time. Just hanging in there at the moment. So from the throw-in, Archie Smith taps it straight down to Barlow. Gets the hands out to no one in particular. Coming through is Coleman for the Lions. Handballs to Hinge. Tries to go with the check side. Didn't quite get connection. This might bounce out. No, it's going to stay in. Dawson just sockers it off the ground of Wooler. He's tackled by Spencer. Ball spills out. Coming through is Stackelberg for the Lions. And wins himself a free kick for a high tackle. Well
done, Cody Stackelberg. Just entered that contest with 100% intent. Didn't quite get the disposal, but ended up winning the free kick.
Handballs to Allison, who goes for a bit of a run. Is he run too far? Just gets boot to ball in time. Long kick inside 50. No one home for the Lions. Almost snuck through for a goal, but missed to the right-hand side. 8-14-62 plays. 7-6-48. 27.5 gone in the 3rd.
So the Suns to bring the ball back in through Pierce Handley, who's having just a little bit of a game time tonight, just sharing it around. Now goes to the outer side. That's a ripping mark, isn't it? Taking off and playing on. Well done there to Michael Barlow. Now it's Ben Ainsworth in right half forward position. That's a sloppy looking kick in board. It's well picked up there by Gilmore, who has a flying ping and kicks it out of bounds on the full. It hits the behind post. So it'll be a free kick to the Brisbane Lions. Nobody's standing the mark, so they'll just get on with it. And Jacob Allison receives the ball very quickly. Back to Hinge.
So Hinge goes back outside to Allison. Under pressure this time. Handball's in board to Quint. Little kick down the line. Smith against Caleb Graham. Coming through is Foster. Emerges with it. Handball's in board to Dawson. Backwards to Scrimshaw. Little chip kick finds Hanley just inside the centre square. He wants to move on, does Hanley. Kick up the ward, up the corridor. Symington drops the mark. Now it's still a chance for the Suns, though. McDonald. Handball's over the top to Bailey Scott, who drops it. Handball's back to Symington. 1-2 with Scott. Just a high up and under kick to the hot spot. Lions should win out in numbers. It spills out to Symington, just trying to keep it alive. Eventually, the boundary line beats them all, and we will have a throw-in. 10 metres around from the Suns' goal.
Geez, they cooked that one, the Suns, didn't they? There was an open goal. waiting to happen. Just a loose handball, just missed by half a foot.
A couple of times they've gone inside 50 and they don't look confident, or they just seem to have mucked it up a couple of times.
Just want to take the game on. That's what you want to do. Have the confidence to do so as Archie Smith gets it down. Barlow shuffles it out to Schoenfeld. And he's paid it as a throw. Oh, no, it was a push, sorry. Umpire's pointing that way, and it will be a push in the back, and it'll go to Michael Barlow. Prolific ball winner. A lot of people at the Gold Coast Suns are saying, how can you not break into the senior side when you're getting 50 touches in the Neefle side?
So Barlow's up to 25 so far.
He's halfway there. Ryan Bastanak with 29 as well tonight as well. So Barlow hasn't worried the scorers as yet, but his experience should show here from 30 metres, slight angle, goal umpire doesn't move. Simple as that. Building a case on a weekly basis is Michael Barlow for promotion to the AFL side. And he gets the Suns' 8th goal. So it's 8-14-62 to the Suns, 8-6-54. 8 points the margin late in the third term on Neefle TV, Jess.
Gold Coast, they're doing well to keep in it, but it's hard to see how they're going to get that momentum to really break the Lions. They haven't led all day, Gold Coast. The Lions have just done enough to keep in front. I feel like their back six has held up quite well so far this afternoon. But Gold Coast, they're a chance. Only 8 points the margin. You think there's not much more time left in this third term.
Some of that youthful exuberance that we've seen, some of the younger players, your Brodie Fosters, your Jacob Dawsons, the Indigenous players, your Baroos, Bokies, these players. There's some really good positivity that you can look forward to in the last quarter coming up for the Gold Coast Suns, I think.
So Barlow lays a great tackle on Clay Beams to force a secondary ball up in the centre. Schoenfeld roves it, handballs to Dawson, back to Schoenfeld. Now they've got a bit of room to move, but the siren beats them. 3/4 time here at Metricon Stadium. Round 17 Neefle action on Neefle TV sees the Lions 8-14-62 leading Gold Coast 8-6-54 at 3/4 time.
That's after the Lions led by 3 points at halftime and 24 points at quarter time. Your goal scorers, well, there's not too many to count out for the Gold Coast Suns. Harry Symington's got 4 of them. Baru, Ainsworth and Rosa have 1. For the Lions, it's Cody Stackelberg, the only multiple goal scorer, with a couple. Preval, McFadgen, Starcevich, Wooler, Beams and Buick. All are the goal scorers. We'll be back with the final term coming up very shortly, live from Metricon Stadium, Neefle round 17. This is Neefle TV through Bar TV. Welcome back to Metricon Stadium, Carrara, Neefle TV, round 17. Gold Coast Suns versus the Brisbane Lions, 6th versus 7th. It is Michael Price and Jess Webster calling all of your action. At quarter time, the Lions led by 24 points. At half time, they led by 3. At three-quarter time, they lead by 8 points. But it is the right of screen that is the scoring end here at Carrara. Jess, do you think that the Gold Coast can come back?
I do.
Good.
to be very, very simple, but look, they just, a couple of times in that third quarter, they went inside 50, I think, and hesitated a little bit. It's just that, like, one or two handballs that aren't hitting their targets. If they can just nail the basics, I think they can match it with the Lions in all other areas. So
it's going to be a big final quarter. The umpire holds the ball aloft and then bangs it into the middle. You're going to get Caleb Graham up against Smith. Smith wins the tap down. Schoenfeld gets in there first. Immediately tackled. The ball stuck underneath him. We'll do it all again. Just forward of the centre circles here at Carrara. You've got the Lions kicking to the left of screen in the final term.
So we go again in the middle. Starcevic extracts it for the Lions. Little grubber kick inside 50. We will have another ball up. 49 metres out from the Lions' goal. And as we've mentioned, it's the non-scoring end so far in this game. So from the ball up, Suns went out. Boki gets around one. And then kicks it to space at half forward. It'll be Symington against Frost. Frost just paddles it in front. Skinner comes through. Gets out a handball to Frost. Starcevic to Keys, but he took his eyes off it for a moment. Lions still good enough to win out. Chain of handballs ends up with Skinner. Just a high up and under kick towards half forward. And Wooler did well to affect a 50-50 contest, but Spencer wins it. Handballs to Leslie, but his kick down the line out of bounds on the full. Good pressure applied by the Lions, and they will win the free kick through Sam Skinner.
Sam Skinner, 20-metre 45 kick, ends up hitting his target in Stackelberg. Kick 2 goals, Cody Stackelberg. Goes across into the centre of the ground. Sam Mays. Now Mays, that's a long kick to the top of the square in the Smith direction. At the back, Ballenden. Smith just kept Max Spencer busy while Ballenden floated over the back. Took a big mark and should knock it through for the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, really smart, wasn't it, from Archie Smith? And Ballenden read it well, though. He knew exactly where to be at the right moment and should make no mistake from 10 metres out.
Just the one goal last week, but he was very good, Connor Ballenden, been serviceable tonight as well. Goes back and pops it through for the Brisbane Lions, the start that they wanted in the final term. After 2 minutes, the Lions 9-14-68 to the Suns, 8-6-54. It's now 14 points the margin after it was 8 at three-quarter time. The Lions extending their lead.
They just kept their noses in front all game, have the Lions. As we mentioned, Gold Coast have not hit the lead. The margin has sort of ebbed and flowed between 3 and 4 goals. And, of course, it was 3 points at half-time. The Lions have got themselves a bit of breathing space early in this fourth quarter. So the winner of this game will go inside the Neefle top 6 in what will be a really exciting run towards the 2018 Neefle Finals Series. So back in the middle, Smith and Caleb Graham go at it. Give that one to Smith. Dawson trying to rove it for the Suns. And fires out a handball to Schoenfeld. Goes backwards to Barlow. And then now to Pierce Hanley. He's got a bit of room to move. Takes a bounce. Drills it inside 50. Harry Symington marks on the lead. Great passage of play from the Suns. And Symington already has 4 goals this afternoon, lining up for his 5th.
He's missed a couple as well as far as marks on the chest, but when it comes down to it, how about the pass from Pierce Hanley? If you were Harry Symington tonight, you must feel wonderful with the midfielder service that's coming down, drilling you.
So Harry Symington for goal number 5 from 40 metres, and he's hooked it. Minor score, the Lions 9-14-68, the Suns 8-7-55, nearly 4 minutes played in the final term.
So the Lions to bring the ball back in. Liam Dawson, product of the Aspley Hornets, a long kick in the Ballenden direction. Big fist from Spencer towards the boundary line, takes it there. We'll get a throw in, 70 metres from the Gold Coast Suns goal. They are pressing the home side. 13 points they are behind. 4 minutes gone in this final term on Neefle TV. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Throw in now. Archie Smith out the front of Caleb Graham. Smith has won the hit-outs all night. Oh, what a great tackle on Barlow, but Barlow still got a great handball out to Ainsworth. Now to Jacob Dawson under a lot of pressure. He puts it out of bounds on the full. It'll be another possession to Ryan Bastanak. This will be possession number 30 for Bastanak as he brings the ball back in for the Brisbane Lions. He goes long down the line. Ballenden hits him, and great set of hands, wasn't it, Jess?
Great kick, great mark, wasn't it?
Just good mitts. And it's pretty handy when you put it in front of his eyes and he takes it like that. And Jack Leslie's gone over the mark. Connor Ballenden has given him some. The umpire says that's 50. Ballenden gave him some more. And I bet he lines up to give him some more after he has another ping at them, because Connor Ballenden has got the leg. Not a problem here. Again, it's just the accuracy.
This might be the first dagger in Gold Coast, I think. If Ballenden can nail this one, it'll make the job very tough for the Suns from here.
Pick number 47 in last year's draft. 1 goal, as I said last week. Very good in the Giants' draw with Brisbane. Kicks it from right off 50, but didn't go back and get the big run-up. It fades left in the end, but just one behind results. And 9 goals, 15 to the Brisbane Lions. 69, 14 points in front of the Suns, 8-7-55.
Hanley kicks to himself and then kicks it in the Caleb Graham direction. Marks in front of Archie Smith. Wants to move on. He's got Dawson on the outside, right up against the boundary line, and shanks the kick. Rosa, though, still gathers under pressure. Handballs backwards to Graham. Inboard to Barlow, and now to Butterick. Just dances out of traffic. Handballs laterally to Dawson, and then his kick is partially smothered. Turnover. Archie Smith just kicks it inside 50 to no one in particular. Suns have the numbers through Spencer. Good smother by Ballenden. Leslie now has it. Rush kick outside defensive 50. McDonald first to meet it for the Suns. Coming through is Frost and laying a great tackle on Michael Barlow. Forces the ball up close to the boundary line at left half forward for the Lions.
A little bit of concern being shown there for Michael Barlow by his teammates as he gets up. Slapped down by Smith after Graham missed it. Schoenfeld gave it to Dawson. Now looped it back there to Scrimshaw. That's a beautiful kick to the runner, Pierce Hanley. He didn't even have to change stride. He drops it anyway. Well done by Billy Johnson, who just got around Pierce Hanley and affected him to the point he mucked it up. Mays, bit of showboating, the handball to over the top to Billy Johnson again. Kicks it now to Ballenden through the hands. It was actually McFadgen, and the Coast will come out of it through Michael Barlow. Again, racking up the disposals here at Carrara.
Mark's just inside the boundary line. Tries to go to the corridor, but no one really there for the Suns. Coming through is Bailey Scott. Handball put Rosa under pressure, but good enough to fire out a handball back out to Scott. Little chip down the line to Lower. Scott runs on, receives the hands, approaches 50, just drives it towards the open goal. Yes, it is a goal to Bowie. He got boot to ball just in time and popped one through. The Suns are still in it. Lions 9-15-69. Plays the Suns 9-7-61. 8 points the margin, 7.5 minutes gone in the final term.
Well, that was the one we needed to keep the game alive, and it certainly has. Timokai Bowie, the Cairns product, knocks it through, and we have got a live one here. 8 points the margin, 8 gone. Final term, Neefle TV. The Suns looking like that youthful enthusiasm could just drag them across the line, Jess. We've got one down on the Brisbane midfield with Tom Bell, who hasn't taken his place since half-time. The rotations might be eating into it now.
Well, great lead-up work by Bailey Scott, involved in that chain a couple of times, and then it was just a really nice kick to the teeth of goal from right up against the boundary line. Well done to the Suns.
Bang down in the middle. Archie Smith wins this one comprehensively. Doesn't really go to anybody in particular. Bastanak has 2 hacks at it from ground level. Keneally punches it away. Now Beams loops the handball back into Smith, the big man. Kicks it inside 50. Leslie could have marked that. Went with the fist, front and centre Keys. Handball to Beams. Beams, the left footer, just struck it with the outside of the shoe, and it's out of bounds on the full. Opportunity missed for the Lions. The Suns will get a free kick in the back pocket. It'll be taken by Palm Beach Currumbin product Max Spencer.
So Spencer just kicks long. Archie Smith had front spot. The ball spills, though, to the Suns. Schoenfeld pops a handball over the top to Butterick. Under pressure, though. Great tackle by Dawson. Schoenfeld goes again. Handballs to Dawson. They're still right inside the boundary line. Dawson now with the kick. towards the wing position. Coming through is McDonald. He just emerges with it, has a bounce, doesn't quite sit, regathers, kicks into space, Bowie marks. Well done by McDonald just to keep control of the footy, and a well-positioned kick to McCoy Bowie, who just kicked the last goal of the game, and this to bring the Suns within 2 points. Well,
for the sake of the game, let's hope Bowie can do so. I just love it when you say Bowie floating around in space, Jess. There's something about that.
So Bowie on the approach, crosses forward 50 from 45 metres, and he's missed to the left-hand side for a minor score. 9:15.69, the Suns 9:8.62, nearly 10 minutes gone in the final term.
7 points is the margin. The Lions just holding on. The Suns are pressing. They'll bring the ball back in Brisbane. Sam Mays, who kicks the ball to himself, gets a good shepherd from Jack Frost and then pops it into the path of a teammate. Well done. It's Ben Keys it's Toby Wooler who took the mark. Umpire said it's going to be 50. Now, was that going through the demilitarised zone there, Jess? Somebody ran past and... No, didn't quite catch that one either. No, there you go. So, Toby Wooler gets the free pass, do not pass go. Goes straight up the field 50 metres, and Toby Wooler puts it into the path of Ballenden. Just a little bit too tall for the big man. Goes over the head of him. Well done there by Schoenfeld to Brodie Foster, to Rosa, who hacks it out off the side of his boot, and it'll be out of bounds on the full. It's going to be another free kick to the Brisbane Lions. So Sam Mays will reload here. He's 80 metres from goal. He's right on the boundary line. He's got a pretty lengthy leg, and he puts it to a dangerous position. Archie Smith is the target, and that's a good defensive mark. Could have been paid to Scrimshaw. Ball spills. Picked up by Ballenden. Tries to march his way through. Got tackled. Lost the ball. Nothing doing. Picked up by Clay Beams. He has a hack at it. And kicks it over the top of the goal umpire's head. Once again, Clay Beams has pulled a rabbit out of a hat. That's the 10th goal for the Lions, the second one for Beams. 10-15-75 to 9-8-62. Back to 13 points the margin.
Gosh, almost a great defensive mark by Scrimshaw. Just dropped it at the final second. And again, another great finish by Clay Beams. Kicked a ripper goal in that opening quarter. And now he's got 2 to his name. And the Lions, all of a sudden, back out to that 13 point margin. Now Suns just can't quite get that roll on. Every time the Lions have just found the answers all day.
Yes, as soon as they get close enough, it's sort of like they get the speed wobbles up and can't take that next step, and the Lions do answer. Must have been frustrating for Coach Nick Malcheski and the Gold Coast Suns setup as we're back in the middle.
So Smith wins the tap down, straight down to Starcevic, just bombs it inside 50. Oh, and that's a great grab by Conan, who handballs to a running Scrimshaw and kicks it in the Ainsworth direction, but couldn't gather in time before it spills over the boundary line for a throw-in, wing position out of side.
So Jack Scrimshaw, interesting player that, taken at pick number 7 in the 2016 draft, so there's high hopes for him. He's a high draft pick. Just showing signs of development in the NEFL at the minute as Archie Smith slaps it forward. It's well picked up by Pierce Hanley, starting to show a bit of his customary movement. Gives it to Max Spencer, now to the run of Scrimshaw. Puts it into the path of Schoenfeld, who gathers it on the bounce and then gives it away. Awful handball. Cut off there by Mays. Well done to Hinge, who got involved. Mays gets it back and kicks it into the path of Clay Beams. He's got a player all by himself on the outer wing in Ben Keys. He hits him. Keys has got a paddock. Has one bounce. Comes back in. Unselfishly loads up towards goal. And puts it... Oh, it's actually been mucked up there by... the player.
It was Toby Wooler,
It was Toby Wooler. I didn't realise he actually managed to get the boot to ball. I thought he got knocked over as he collected that, but he actually got the boot in and went through for a goal. So that's actually going to make it very, very hard for the Gold Coast Suns as the Lions get to 11-15-81 to 9-8-62, back to 19 points the margin. I was just wondering, as I was watching on the outer side, as Ben Keys gathered that ball, had a couple of bounces. When they brought it into the corridor, it actually chopped up a few of their options as well. So coming back with the flight of it then, Wooler.
They just have a little bit more composure, Brisbane, I think, in this game. We've just seen a couple of skill errors from the Suns that have proved quite costly because Brisbane have just managed to kick down the other end and score.
Well, 2 goals to Toby Wooler as well. So 3 of the Lions players with 2 goals in Beams, Wooler and Stackelberg.
So the Suns need everything to go their way at the moment. Dawson from the centre bounce, wrapped up in a tackle by Stackelberg. And we will have a secondary ball up, still inside the centre square.
Once again, you see at least 3 sets of players in each 50. Whether that's a deliberate thing by the coaching staff or the setup, I don't know.
Sloan kicks to half forward. Scrimshaw against Bastanak. And still no winner from that contest. Boki just comes through and says, I'll have it. Handballs to Foster. He can't gather it. Ball still inside the boundary line. Handball to Keys. Tackled by McDonald. And we will have a ball up between wing and half forward on the outer side.
19 points it is. The Lions lead it. They've led all day, basically. Suns have not got a sniff in that regard. They keep pressing every time they do. The Lions just put the accelerator down. Big contest on the wing coming up. Well played there. Was Awaya, got the ball away. Schoenfeld now ends up in the middle. Bailey Scott chips it forward. Ainsworth can't quite drag it in. Has a second ping at it. Good smothering effort there. Lions defensive effort there by Sam Mays. Chris Fagan and the coaching staff, Mitch Harner, be very impressed that Sam Mays is putting in those 1%ers and going back and giving some to his opposition as well. As we'll get a throw in the right forward pocket.
Another great defensive effort by the Lions. Still a chance, though, for the Suns inside 50. From the throw-in, Bailey Scott rows it, throws it on the left boot. Standing underneath it on the goal line, Jack Frost.
He copped a hard one, did Bailey Scott there. Slowly getting up, a little bit ginger there.
So Frost right on the goal line. 50-metre kick in the Liam Dawson. No. Coming away with it, though, is Awaya for the Suns. Handballs to Baru, runs over it. Frost comes in and lays the tackle. Baru goes again. And then plenty of numbers around this contest. Hard ball to be won is Bastanak. He is tackled and forces the ball up 10 metres out or 15 metres out from the Suns' goal.
Emmanuel Baru, the ball was like a cake of soap there. He couldn't quite get it. Archie Smith slaps it down. Still in dispute there. It's not coming out either, just quietly. And we'll have another ball up in a similar spot, left forward pocket. For the Gold Coast Suns, they need to get a wriggle on, 17 gone, final term. And the Lions are still leading by 19 points. Suns trying desperately to get it out of here. It's hacked out by Stackelberg. It's picked up now by Spencer. Shoots a handball forward. Rosa, can he control it? No, beautifully done there in defence by Billy Johnson. Turns around, kicks it to right half back. Coming in Quint, now Keys. Through traffic, Keys did it calmly. Handball to Beams. Hassled off it by Brodie Foster. Now going in Jack Leslie. Quint and Leslie. Leslie against the boundary line, and boundary line wins out. We'll get a throw in. So they're still battling manfully, the Suns, trailing by 19, 20-0, 18 gone final term on Neefle TV.
Well, they need 4 goals to win it. And the Lions are holding up well at the moment. So Smith and Graham in the ruck. Graham flies over the top. Rosa just bumps Keys off it. Handballs back to Scott. Kick smothered by Johnson. Falls into the path of Archie Smith. But he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. And Gold Coast will take the free kick. And it looks like Jack Leslie will say, that ball is mine.
So Leslie gets the ball back from a helpful respondent in the crowd. It's actually now been given back to Ryan Gilmore, who puts a short one in and finds Jacob Dawson, who's been very serviceable today. Yet another from the Palm Beach Currumbin Footy Factory. Long kick. Smith just read it beautifully and cut it off. Nobody else in the vicinity. Emmanuel Baru got there a little late, but Archie Smith took it too easily. Goes laterally and finds Mitchell Hinge. Hinge got a beautiful kicking action. Finds the left footer in Rowan Buick. He's held up. Will peel off onto that trusty left and does so. Sees a lead down the wing. It was well done by McFadgen to get rid of his opponent. The ball won't stay in for him, though. The two number 57s usher the ball over the boundary. We'll get a throw in. Just short of left half forward for the Brisbane Lions.
So almost into time here in this final quarter. Brisbane are in the box seat to return to the NEAFL top 6. Umpire tosses it back in. Smith palms it down. Only as far as McDonald. Kick down the line. Coming through with the fist was Skinner. Throw in right in front of us on NEAFL TV. Right in front of the interchange gates.
Just a few interested spectators of the Carlton players. There's half a dozen of them on the bench having a look at this NEAFL game between the Lions and the Suns. It's well picked up by Conan. Got the handball away. Pierce Hanley. He's going to go for the 1-2. He doesn't get there. Gives it away to McDonald. Chips it forward. Symington going to give it back to Ainsworth, who slaps it away. Hinge. He enters the fray. Gets tackled a little high. Nothing happening. Now it's picked up there by Lower. Handball off. And a kick towards goal. Jack Frost plays goalkeeper and bats it away. We'll get another throw in. Right forward pocket. You can see little short, sharp bursts, and players like Pierce Hanley are just, after a long break of injury, are just coming back into it, and you can see that their experience is going to be a benefit as the Gold Coast move forward. Just maybe not right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So throw in, forward 54, the Suns. And ball ricochets to Barlow, just throws it on the right boot. It's a high up and under, and it's over. That's Michael Barlow's second goal of the game. It gives the Suns a sniff. A glimmer of hope, Pricey. But they still need 3 more goals to win it.
Well, Michael Barlow is an absolute machine, isn't he?
It's just that goal sense.
That was a floating, wobbling sack, but he knew where the goals were.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And he just propelled it in that direction. Michael Barlow, a prolific player. And once again, he's doing it on the bit tonight. And he did 50 disposals against the Sydney Swans last week. And tonight he's already up to 32. Kicked the 2 goals as well. So it's a pretty handy midfield effort when you're kicking 2 and providing 30 touches. As I said before, big contest in the middle all night between Archie Smith and Caleb Graham. Archie Smith has almost doubled Caleb Graham in the hit-outs department, but I reckon Graham's done beautifully to stymie Archie Smith's influence around the ground, so it's made it more competitive. Awful bounce by Brett Ritchie, calls it back. And we'll do it all again. 22 minutes gone to the final term. The Lions by 13. If the Gold Coast can get another quick one, it'll be very interesting. Archie Smith wins this one. Dawson goes in for the Suns. So does Clay Beams. He loses it. The ball spills, and it was a push. A late push was called. And it'll go to Ben Ainsworth in the middle of the ground for the Suns. So they might get our wish here. The Suns, a long kick from Ainsworth. Ill-directed straight down the nanny goat of Liam Dawson. A wasted opportunity. The Lions will come out and hit Clay Beams just forward of left half back.
It wasn't the smartest of kicks from Ainsworth as Beams hits Preval on the lead. So Preval just long down to half forward. Dropping the mark is Hanley and roving is Jesse Quint. Kick is smothered though, and then he follows up with a tackle. Ball still alive. But now it spills over the boundary line for a throw-in at left half forward for Brisbane.
As I said before, just those little patches. Pierce Hanley probably would swallow that mark a few games in, but then had the competitive nature to go back and late in the game drop that smother right off the boot. Well done to Pierce Hanley. Throw in. Archie Smith makes his way to the front. Beams and Buick. Buick tackled by Dawson as he tried to get rid of it. Beams now over to Bastanak. All the Bs. Bastanak lowering it to Ballenden, who picks it up on the half volley. Beautifully handball to Mays. Mays under extraordinary pressure kicks a point. 11-16-82. The Suns 10-8-68. It's back to 14 points, 23 and a half gone, final term.
So time is running away for Gold Coast as Hanley kicks to himself and has a bounce down the corridor, almost run down. Little chip kick in the direction of Bowie. Suns still went out through Boki. Handballs to Conan, but his handball misses the target. Coming through is Hinge. Laying the tackle is Conan, forces the ball up, but again, another skill error costs the Suns on that fast break out of defence.
Yeah, absolutely, Jess. But again, the positive side of that is Dirk Conan. What a tackle. So Mitch Hinge still struggling to get up from that. A fair tackle, but he absolutely crushed him.
So ball up in the centre square. Archie Smith straight down to Dawson. To McDonald, but he's tackled by Buick. That's almost holding the ball, and it is. Great tackle by Buick. Free kick in the centre square.
That's the technique we were talking about, Jess. You lay the right tackling technique. Watch where your arms are, watch where the hips are, and you can't be fooled by the Geelong genuflect or anything like that as Buick launches a long left footer to the top of the square, off hands. It's going to lead Quint to the ball. Loops a very dangerous handball back, but it's an attacking, aggressive handball. Finds his teammate in Starcevic, who now finds Mays. Mays lowers the eyes and hits Bastanak 45 metres out. And that is probably the tail of the tape. They went back outside and then just went laterally across the 50-metre arc to find a better option. And Bastanak lowers the eyes and finds an even better option in Sloan, who drops a pud. So it still leaves the Suns in with a chance. Barlow chips it forward. They've got one through the middle. Baru's running by himself if they can get it there. Conan misses. It was the handball that came across to him from Bowie that was ill-directed that mucked that one up, and the Lions are out again, Jess.
Oh, they've had the chances, the Suns, as the kick along the ground. Barlow mops up. Handballs to Hanley. He's got Bailey Scott on the outside. Kicks to a man in space at half forward. It's Symington. Drops the mark, but he's got time to gather. Wheels around from 70. Kicks it long to the hot spot. Schoenfeld's there. He drops the mark. It spills out the back, and the Lions rush the behind. So that might be the end result. The Lions 11-16-82. The Suns 10-9-69. We've played 26 minutes now in the final term.
Clay Beams deserves all the plaudits there. Josh Schoenfeld basically had the sit. The ball was dropping into his lap, and Clay Beams managed to come back without giving away the free kick. Crucial bit of play in the Lions' defence. Now they know they've got this. Late in the final term, Keys goes backwards to Bastanak, who's again racking up the stats here tonight at Carrara. Ryan Bastanak's hit 32 disposals it is now. It's back now with Rowan Buick. 34 disposals it is, I'm sorry. He and Michael Barlow both on 34. Buick now. Long left footer. Big pack of players. It's going to go over the back. Slapped forward there by Toby Wooler. And Jack Scrimshaw escorts the ball down, almost down the Suns' race. We'll get a throw in front of the benches. The Lions leading by 13 points late in the final quarter. Neefle TV through Bar TV. Michael Price and Jess Webster calling your action.
So only minutes left in this final term. You think the Lions would hold on from here. Shallow throw in. Roved by Lower. Gets the handball out to Rosa. But he's wrapped up in a tackle by Buick. Ball spills out though. Lower to Barlow's under pressure. Done a 360. McFadden mops up for the Lions. Handball to Stackelberg, but he's got Conan for company. Conan wins out. Pops up the handball to Ainsworth. And then to Rosa. Coming through is Coleman. Wraps him up. Rosa gets the handball out to Ainsworth. Dodges around Buick. Kick down the line. Marked by Barlow. And he's got Graham over the top. So Graham in a bit of space goes inboard to Barlow. What's he going to do here? He hits Baru on the lead. Beautiful kick by Michael Barlow. And Baru will have a shot from 45 metres out, no real angle to speak of. He
won't waste any time here. And Matt Rosa, back in the back play, is still recovering from that tackle. Ben Ainsworth should have actually sent him flowers with that because it would have put him in hospital, that handball.
So Baru on the approach. Let's go from 45, and he's hooked it again. Another chance gone begging for the Suns. 11-16-82, plays 10-10-70. 28.5 gone now in the final term. 2
straight goals. Yeah, it was a crunching tackle, and Matt Rosa is coming off the field as we speak. Absolute pud of a handball from Ben Ainsworth as Sam Mays kicks it to right half back. Scrimshaw could have been paid the mark, nothing doing. Obviously another set of hands in there. It's propelled forward for Brisbane. Clay Beams now. Measures a kick into the corridor to find Brandon Starcevic. He's got Foster on the mark, so he goes back. Archie Smith telling him to go wide, so he does. Buick He's going to receive it. He's a left footer, so he can peel wide and arc it back into a dangerous spot, but he decides, no, we've got plenty of time. We've won this one. He goes back to Liam Dawson, who spreads wide, goes to the Nerang River side to find Jacob Allison. He's a long kick, but he finds the lead of Ben Keys, and they're doing it too easily now, the Brisbane Lions, late in the final quarter. They've got this one wrapped up, and they know they've done enough, so to speak, as Ben Keys kicks a long one to the dangerous spot. Fisted forward by Caleb Graham. He ends up getting the ball back and tackled into the ground. It spills. Brandon Starcevich tackled by Scrimshaw. Ball underneath the pair of them. We'll get a ball up 30 metres from goal, right forward pocket for the Brisbane Lions. They're leading by 2 straight goals late in the final quarter on NEFL TV.
So Brisbane inside attacking 50. And no one's emerging with it from that ball up, so we'll do it all again. Really important win coming up for Brisbane. They'll move back inside the NEFL top 6. So they've done pretty well today to hold off the Suns, who are still going here. Leslie, kick partially smothered, falls to Skinner, but he can't gather it, and this is McDonald. Handball's inboard to Bowie, and then again you see another handball ill-directed. Keys just pops it on the boot into the path of Bastanak. Boki comes in and applies the pressure. It spills to Hanley, left half back for the Suns. Takes a bounce, gets around one, handballs to Boki. Goes back inboard to Hanley. His kick again, partially smothered by Buick. Falls to Schoenfeld, but he is wrapped up in a tackle and forces a ball up. Centre wing position close to the boundary line on the outer side.
So not quite stringing together that run and carry down the outer side, but close. And that's, I suppose, where the Gold Coast will be looking for the positives out of this game. Barlow again, touch number 35, gives it now over to his teammate in Brodie Foster. Been on the Gold Coast Academy system for around about 5 years, Brodie Foster.
Tribal Sport NEFL Rising Star nominee for this season as well.
Good young player. Throw in on the outer side. Graham versus Smith. Smith wins this one, taps it to himself, and then shanks a kick 2 metres forward. Pierce Hanley growing into the game as it gets older. Dawson, Boki, took on everybody, got pinged. Good tackle, Brandon Starcevich. But I suppose in Boki's defence, he's got to have a red-hot go. There's no other option. You're 12 points behind late in the game. As Sam Mays, who's also grown in this game as it gets longer, kicks it to centre half back and finds his teammate in Billy Johnson. Johnson now to Liam Dawson. Dawson finds his teammate in Rowan Buick, and there's the siren. And the Brisbane Lions re-enter the NEFL finals in 6th place as they defeat the home side, the Gold Coast Suns, by 12 points here at Carrara. It's been a cracking game of footy in certain aspects and then held up in certain aspects, Jess. Great deal of opportunities for both sides, but the Lions, they basically started leading, they finished leading, they led all day, and the Gold Coast could not quite get close enough to have a crack at them.
Yeah, look, I think it was a case of Gold Coast were good, but just not good enough. The Lions just did enough, found the answers every time the Suns were putting pressure on the scoreboard, and they really grinded out this victory in what was a really important win in the context of the season. It puts them back into 6th place and leaves the Giants and Gold Coast hot on their heels in the race to the NEFL finals. But plenty of good signs for Brisbane out there today, and they'll be pretty happy to come away with the 4 points.
Yeah, they led by 24 points at quarter time. They led by 3 at half time, 8 at three-quarter time. They end up winning the game by 12 points. Your goal scorers, Clay Beams has got 2, Toby Wooler with 2, Stackelberg's got 2, and singles to Preval, Connor McFadden, Ballenden, Starcevich and Rowan Buick. For the Gold Coast Suns, goals, 4 of them to Harry Symington, who could have grabbed at least a bag of 5. Had some great service from the midfield. And Baru, Bowie, Barlow, Ainsworth and Rosa were your single goal scorers. So the next 4 weeks are going to be very, very interesting, Jess, for the Gold Coast. They've got to bye the Giants at home, Brisbane at home again, and then Sydney at home. So it's going to be a big run home for the Gold Coast Suns. But Brisbane, they've got Sydney away next week. That's going to be a tough one. They get the bye, they come back to the coast, and the Giants. So up against all the AFL competition towards the next 4 weeks for both sides. It'll be crucial for the Lions to get through that so they can maintain their spot in the finals.
Absolutely. It's going to be just a really exciting run towards the final series. So looking forward to see how it all plays out on NEFL TV.
It will be great. Thanks very much, Jess Webster. I'm Michael Price. On behalf of the whole crew, Tim the cameraman and everybody here, I'd say thank you very much for joining us on NEFL TV for round 17. We're streaming live on our broadcast partner Bar TV, all through the great support of Elastoplast, and we'll catch you next time on NEFL TV.